gotta talk.
Talk about what, boy? You don't see I got company around?
Nah, I see that, but like, I can't push it off no more. Look, with everything inside that bag, I'm pretty sure that's enough to pay you back for everything you did for me. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate you looking out for me after all these years, but man, I gotta get out of here. I got goals I'm trying to achieve and dreams I want to chase, but this ain't doing nothing but holding me back. So I'm just asking, is this enough for you so I can walk away from it all?
You can't do it no more. After everything I done did for you. If it wasn't for me taking care of your ungrateful self, you'd probably be homeless right along with your crackhead mama. But now you want to leave. Look, I tell you what, this should be enough money to buy you some time, but you must have forgot I was taking care of your mama too, not just you. So I just feel like I deserve a little bit more than what you're giving me.
You ever feel like no matter how far you try to go, something always gonna have a hold on you? Like you can run from it, you can change, you can do everything right, but it's still right there behind you. Well, my name is Nasir St. Brown, and unfortunately, that's my life. And that bag I dropped on the table, that wasn't just money, that was everything. Everything that I believe would finally let me walk away from all of it. But where I come from, freedom ain't something you can just buy. Not like that. See, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, in the projects. The kind of place where you hear sirens so much that it starts to sound normal. The kind of place where everybody either trying to make it out or already gave up on trying. My mom, Candace, she was there, but not really there, you know? Some days she would look at me like she knew exactly who I was, and other days it was like I ain't even exist. She was fighting something that I ain't understand back then, but I do now. Addiction don't just take a person, it takes everything around them too. But my pops, Marlon, he made sure I ain't feel all that as much as I should've. Now he wasn't perfect, I knew what he was involved in. Even as a kid, I wasn't dumb, but when it came to me, he was everything a father was supposed to be. He would take me out a couple times a month when we could afford it, bowling and watching football. You know, just simple stuff, but to me, it was the best thing in the world. I used to sit there watching those games, watching the running backs break through defenses, hearing the crowd going crazy, and he would always tell me that I was built for something bigger. And I didn't really understand what he meant back then, I just knew I liked hearing it. And then one night, everything changed. I remember the noise first, shouting, running, then gunshots, loud, too loud. I looked out and I seen him, my pops, laying there. And just like that, everything he was trying to protect me from came rushing in at once. Man, the night he passed away, I felt like I had lost everything. Cause not only was he the biggest role model in my life, he was the pillar of the family, keeping everybody together. So losing him was detrimental to everybody that knew him. After that, it was just me and my mom, and she was still fighting her own battles. And maybe even harder now, so I had to figure out things quicker than I was supposed to. And that's when they stepped in, the same people my pops used to run with. And at first, it felt like they was helping, making sure we had food, making sure the lights stayed on, and the bills were paid. They would even give me new clothes and shoes for school sometimes. And when you a kid going through all that, you don't even question it, you just appreciate it. But nothing in that world came free, and eventually, they made it clear. I remember OG Reem calling me over one day, looking at me like he already knew what I was gonna say before I even opened my mouth. He told me straight up, "We've been taking care of you and your mama, so now it's your turn." And I ain't had no real choice. It wasn't like I could say no and still expect everything to be okay. So I stepped into something that I wasn't never meant to be a part of. I was young, too young, out there on the block doing things I didn't really understand, just knowing I had to do it in order to keep things together. And every day felt like I was drifting further away from who my pops thought I could be. Then high school came, and for the first time in a long time, something felt different. Football. At first it was just an excuse to stay out the mix and be away from my environment for a few hours, but then I began to feel something while I was out there. Like maybe this is what my pops was talking about, and maybe I really was meant for something bigger. And Coach Daniels, he saw it before I did. He stayed on me, pushed me, talked to me like I mattered, like I had a future that wasn't tied to where I came from. And I wanted to believe him, I really did, but the streets don't care about what you believe in, they care about what you owe. And when that bread started coming up short cause I was at practice instead of on the block hustling, oh, they made sure I understood that. I remember getting jumped just for trying to do something different and better myself, and still showing up to practice the next day like nothing ever happened. But coach, he wasn't blind. He just kept asking me what was wrong, kept pressing me, and eventually I broke. I told him everything. I thought I was finally letting somebody help me, but I ain't know it was gonna cost him his life. See, without me knowing, he went to the block, he tried to talk to him, he tried to buy me out the game, he tried to do exactly what I would end up doing later. But they ain't care about the money that day. They wanted pure control. They wanted to remind everybody what happens when you try to step away. And he just happened to be the one who paid for it. And I still think about that moment, how one decision changed everything again. That was the first time I felt real anger. Not even at them, but at God. Like, why show me a way out and put somebody in my life that believed in me just to take them away like that? And after that, everything felt different. Police came around asking questions, trying to get names, but I already knew how that went. Where I'm from, you don't say a word, so I didn't. And somehow, That earned me respect. And OG Reem looked at me different after that, like I proved something to him. And he told me that I could keep playing football, like it was some kind of reward. So I took that and ran with it, literally. Every game, every play, I went harder. Not just for me, for my coach, for my pops, for everything I lost. And eventually, people started noticing. Schools started calling, offers started rolling in, and for the first time, it felt real. Like I was really getting close to leaving all that behind. And then I turned 18 and my mom, she wasn't the same person anymore. She was clean, present, actually there. She gave me this box and told me my pops left it for me. He made her promise that in case something happened to him, she wouldn't give it to me until the day I turned 18. I opened it and inside was the most money I had ever seen in my life. Money he had been saving for me, probably hoping I would use it in the right way. And in that moment, I thought this was the answer. I thought it was it. I thought it was my way out. So I took all of it, every dollar, and brought it straight to OG Reem. Dropped it on the table, looked him right in his eyes, and for the first time in my life, I thought I was in control. I thought I could finally walk away from him, but the way he looked at me, the way he laughed, that's when I realized something I probably should have known the whole time. This ain't something you can just pay your way out of. Not when they already feel like they own you. Not when your whole life been tied to them. So now I see different. This ain't just about getting out anymore. This is about becoming something big, so undeniable that they can't touch me, can't control me, they can't hold me back. And the only way I know how to do that is through football. So yeah, I'm chasing greatness now. Not just for dreams, but for survival. Cause where I'm from, you don't just leave, you earn your way out. So I ended up committing to Eastern Michigan in hopes of making this a reality. First game of the season, y'all boys, and as y'all know, we coming into this season with a goal. Yeah, man, we trying to get a big name so eventually those NIL deals start rolling in and I can take care of my family and put us in a better situation. I ain't got no choice but to perform to my best so I can make that a reality. But as y'all can see, man, first game of the season, we were on the road against Texas State. Very early in the game, we end up facing the 3rd and 6. I'm lined up in the slot. Step on the defense, QB gonna throw it over his head, and we make that catch, getting us that first down.
Made a quick tackle. They might pump that throw and then hit.
The very next play, I would get my first handoff for the game, only going for 4 yards. After getting hit with a penalty, we backed up at a 2nd and 11. I'm able to break a few tackles and get us down at a 3rd and inches. This first drive goes to disaster. On the 3rd and inches, he gonna toss it, but the terrible toss winds up being fumbled. We recover it, but at a 4th and 12. Second quarter now, the score is now 3-0, going with the outside handoff. And as y'all can see, man, off the rip, I got a whole lot of green grass spinning out of a tackle, making 2 more, and somehow I'm able to stay on my feet and keep that balance. That's why the weight room is important, man. Tighten my way into the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of my college career and the first touchdown of the game. Let's go. Texas State still doesn't get anything on the board as I get set up with some great blocks, breaking off for a nice game before being brought down at the 40. Getting this drive going, he gonna give me a handoff. I cut it up through the middle, bursting straight through that A-gap, taking defenders out their shoes before being brought down in the red zone. Very nice play, running into the back of my blocker, bouncing into the outside, man, peep the balance, breaking through tackles, being brought down inside the 5. 2nd and inches, starting this one off in motion, sneaking into the flat. We connect with an easy passing completion, cruising my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game.
Now this offense building that lead. It's still
3rd quarter now, we remain up 17-0. Looking like this was gonna get stopped short. I'm able to slip my way out of those tackles, getting past midfield and breaking out for a nice play. And that very next play, cutting this one on the inside, taking off through that B gap, picking up some big yards before being brought down for another gain of around 12. Dang near putting his job together myself, man, cutting out into the flat. QB goes my way, I hit him with something nasty. Put him on the ground and I take off for a nice gain, getting us around the 20. Down inside the red zone at a 3rd and goal, I would cruise my way into the end zone, going untouched for my 3rd touchdown of the game. So we would end up taking a win in our first game of the season with the final score being 34-7. As y'all seen, man, I completely balled out this game. If I keep this up, man, ain't no telling where we're going to be at. I finished the game with 15 carries for 159 yards and 3 touchdowns and 66 receiving yards. Game number 2 on the season, but the first home game of the season, man. After coming off a win, we feel good coming into this one. My first time being in front of that home crowd on this great field, hey, man, I'm feeling good. For the second game of the season, we are up against an FCS school. My first handoff for the game comes out at 2nd and 8. I end up getting caught up on my blocker and I'm brought down after a gain of 7. But I get the ball right back on that 3rd and 3 and I'm able to pick up the first down. Lined up inside the 20 at a 2nd and 1. Following my blocker, cutting this one inside, getting us down inside the 5.
He's all the way down to the 3. An electric run has him set up.
In that very next play out of 1st and goal, they're going to leave the ball in my hands and I go into the end zone untouched, scoring my first touchdown of the game.
For an offense to have the
First play of this next drive, and I can't lie, man. I can't wait till I get more shifty. This should have low-key been a house call. I'm able to slip the tackle, but I'm brought down past the 30. And look, man, this play do not need to be called no more. It's the second game in a row that he did the same thing. I don't know if I'm in the wrong spot or he just don't know how to toss it. But after hitting the receiver deep, we lined up at a 3rd and goal. QB going my way on the screen, and I'm able to cruise my way into the end zone, scoring my second touchdown of the game. Up 14-0, but starting this one off backed up in our own end zone. But as y'all can see, all that gray grass in front of me. Ain't nobody finna lay a finger on me as I make my way to the end zone, scoring my 3rd touchdown of the night, my 2nd rushing touchdown, making a complete house call. After that last touchdown, the offense got pretty stagnant. As y'all can see, they caught up with the score being 14-21, down 1 touchdown, as I make another nice run. Starting this one off in motion and sneaking out into the flat. QB goes my way. I bring this one in. Got a lot of space to work with, hitting the spin move, breaking out of a tackle before being popped right in front of the 30.
That's why this guy is such a weapon in this offense.
2 halfback look, and I'm set up with some great blocking on the outside handoff. Looking like we finna make another house call, getting past that 10, and diving my way into the end zone, scoring another touchdown. 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and I currently got 186 rushing yards. As y'all can see, I just easily made that past 200, being brought down at the 30. First play of the 4th quarter, starting this one off in motion, lined up at a 3rd and goal. They gonna leave the ball in my hands, and I put it into this drive, taking him out his shoes and making my way into the end zone, scoring. I don't even know how many touchdowns that is, but I've been balling out.
Have yourself a day, young fella.
And just like that, we will grab our 2nd win of the season with the score being 35-14. As y'all just witnessed, man, your boy balled out, finishing this game with 229 rushing yards off of 23 attempts and 5 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards per carry. Oh yeah, I was on one this game. And after that performance, I ended up winning the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, along with the National Offensive Player of the Week, man. Stop playing. 3rd game of the season, and we right back on the road, taking on an SEC team, being the Kentucky Wildcats. As y'all know, we are currently 2-0, so it don't matter if they in the SEC or not, man. We feel good going into this one. They start the game off with a field goal lead. At a 2nd and 9, I'll get my first handoff, which is sniffed out. Going right back to me at a 3rd and 12, and this one gets stopped short too. I had to lock in for the 2nd drive. In the very first play, I'm set up with some great blocks, and I get a free run straight to the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of the game. They would go down and kick in another field goal, making it 6-7. As I take off through the C gap, spinning out of a few tackles before being brought down in front of the 30. Going right back to me the very next play on the outside handoff. Look at how good the blocking is, man. Taking that boy out of his shoes, being brought down inside the red zone. Stop playing with me. A few plays later, at a 2nd and goal, he gonna give it to me in the flat, and I cruise my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd of the night.
Love the thought process by the quarterback here on this play. Nobody open in the end zone. Find your check down.
30 seconds left in the half, up 14-6 again. Kentucky snatcher ankles being brought down in front of the 50.
Right away after picking up the ball.
First drive of the 3rd quarter, leaving it with an inside handoff. Got some space to work with, cutting this one back inside, being brought down after a good game. And I cannot believe I almost forgot to show y'all, man. We are playing on Heisman difficulty as always. After putting the drive together, we end up facing the 3rd and 11, and they sniffed this one out, being brought down for a loss. But they do not go down and score, so the score remains 14-6. As the QB goes my way in the flat, spinning out of one tackle, breaking another, being brought down past midfield. Look, y'all boys, this is why balance is so important. Taking the handoff to the left, bouncing off of those tackles and cutting it back to the right. Spinning out of tackles and breaking multiple tackles, being brought down in front of the 20. We went down and kicked a field goal. 4th quarter now, and the score is 17-6. I would juke another defender out his shoes and take off for a nice run. A few plays later, at a 2nd and 3, going with another inside handoff, bouncing into the outside, taking defenders out their shoes and slipping tackles before being brought down right in front of the 20.
Really nice run there.
And that's the challenge for this defense, man. It starts to get later in the ball game.
Facing the 3rd and 1, but I got my mind focused on 6, lowering my pass, running straight through him, being brought down at the 1. A few plays later, I'm coming out the backfield and sneaking to the back of the end zone with nobody there to stop me, and I make an easy catch, and us up another touchdown against Kentucky. And just like that, man, we will remain undefeated with the score being 24-13, coming into the home of an SEC team and making it happen, man. I had a good game also, finishing with 171 rushing yards off of 24 attempts and 3 touchdowns. And I also had 39 receiving yards. And that performance will win me the MAC Offensive Player of the Week. Stepping out into our 4th game of the season, rocking that all black, man, that John look clean. But anyways, man, 4th game of the season, we right back on the home turf, going up against the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They started off with the ball but did not score. Very first play of our first drive, I'm cutting it upfield, getting loose off the rip and being brought down past midfield, man. Let's go. Putting a fast drive together, man. A few plays later, I'm going to take this one up through the middle. I keep my feet moving and break through multiple tackles before being brought down inside the 10.
Arm like that, it's going to be tough to stop that throw. First down.
Tight end will score our first touchdown of the game. Louisiana does not score. First play of our next drive, as y'all can see, I get loose for a nice gain. Last play of the first quarter with 4 seconds left, I'm going to run it straight through the defender and find my way into the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of the night. Backed up in our own end zone, facing the 3rd and 16, leaving the ball in my hands, but I'm not able to get enough, just brought down inches short. 50 seconds left in the half, up 14-0, but backed up in our own end zone again, pick up a gain of 5. In the very last play of the half, with 2 seconds left on the clock, I get set up with some great blocks. I hit the outside and I catch a burst of speed that the defense is not able to keep up with, making my way into the end zone for a huge touchdown house call, man. Stop playing. This is what I do. Up 21-0 in the 3rd quarter. We keep on starting drives backed up in our own end zone, but I'm able to fight my way towards a nice gain of 9. Starting to put a nice drive together. Going with an inside handoff, I'm able to fight my way for a gain of 6. And we end up going 4-0 on the season with the final score of this one being 34-14. We came out here and did exactly what we were supposed to do. I balled out, finishing this game with only 17 rushing attempts for 189 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rivalry matchup on the 5th game of the season at an away game against Central Michigan. But I ain't gonna lie, I have been balling out here lately, so I'm definitely not worried going into this game. But to my surprise, my first handoff gets shut down after a short gain of 3 yards. We end up facing the 3rd and 4. Coming out the backfield, the QB looks my way, and I easily pick up that first down. Now, y'all boys know how this play been looking for us here lately, but we finally able to make it work, picking up a gain of 9 before stepping out of bounds. We done put a nice drive together. Now it's time to put a cap on it with an outside handoff. Ain't nobody there to stop me as I cruise my way into the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of the night. Central Michigan does not go down and score. Backed up a few yards at a 2nd and 12, I'm able to pick up a gain of 10. And I ain't gonna lie, against Central Michigan, every time it look like I have a chance to get loose, they be right there swarming me, able to make the tackle. Very next play coming out the backfield, I honestly don't know who he was throwing to, but I make the catch, taking him out of his shoes before being brought down past the 30. We only score a field goal that last drive, and they go down and score a touchdown, making it a 3-point game. But as y'all can see, I get loose, leaving him stuck with a spin move and being brought down past midfield. Let's go. Putting together a nice drive at a 2nd and 2. I'm coming out the backfield again, and I'm looking like a receiver this game, low-key, picking up some good yards on the ground.
All the way down to the 25-yard line, they move the sticks. It's first down.
And that very next play, going with an outside handoff, catching the burst of speed through the C gap, lowering my pads and being brought down inside the 10.
He'll get that one all the way down to the 4-yard line before he stops.
We will go down and score a touchdown, making it 17-7 with a minute left in the 2nd quarter as I take off for a nice run up the middle. Coming out the backfield again, this time taking off down the left sideline. I'm not gonna lie, man, it was a dumb decision to call for the ball. QB throws my way and it winds up getting intercepted. Luckily, they do not go down and capitalize. The score remains 17-7 as I hit the right outside, spinning away from defenders and being brought down right in front of midfield.
To the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down.
Moving down that field pretty quick. QB's leaving it in my hands off an inside handoff as I pick up a quick gain of around 12.
This offense, they move the chains, and he's got it at the 34.
Another good run, man. He has been.
We don't do nothing on that last drive. Late in the 3rd quarter now, going with the inside handoff, lowering my pass, running straight through the defense for a nice gain. Before you know, we end up facing the 3rd and goal, faking the handoff and dishing it off to me. Able to hold on to it and break the tackle and find my way into the end zone, adding another 6 to our lead against Central Michigan. Late in the 4th quarter, and this one is pretty much wraps with the score being 31-15. I make another highlight play being brought down in front of the 30. Up big, but still trying to find the end zone, going with the inside handoff, taking that boy out his shoes, being brought down inside the 20. So we don't add to the lead, but we end up taking that win with the score being 31-15. And just like that, Eastern Michigan is 5-0 undefeated, man. What a good start to the season. And as y'all witness, man, I put on another good performance, finishing this game with 24 rushing attempts for 224 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns and 81 receiving yards.
bragging rights for him.
I made it for nothing, no turn into something from nothing, yeah. Made it through property, on that minority, you know my story. Hop on the jet on my property and fly away. Fly, fly, fly away. Call me a president, yeah. Straight out the trenches, yeah. My niggas can't with me, yeah. The richest, the richest, the richest, yeah. Rich niggas on seats, yeah. All of these can't with it, yeah. All them over get can't beat it, yeah, yeah. I try to fight temptation, yeah. Top gun is on vacation, yeah. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. Count up the merchants, I promise some patience. Give you some gain and slow motivation. We need the gas, head in the basics, switch up the swag.
If y'all tapped into the first episode, then you already know. This is way deeper than just my love for the game. I mean, yeah, I'm chasing my dream, but I'm also doing this for my pops, for my coach, but most importantly, to put my mom and myself in a better situation. But as most of y'all know, I'm tied into something that I never planned on being a part of. And like y'all just seen in the intro, OG Reem make sure I never forget that. Every chance he gets, he reminds me that I'm still in the game, and I owe him. Coming into this season, I thought if I performed well enough, those NIL deals would start rolling in, and that's how I would pay off my debt. But now we 5 games in, I'm putting up crazy numbers, leading the nation in rushing yards as a freshman, clearly the best player on the team, and still nothing. I mean, I get it. I'm playing in the MAC conference at Eastern Michigan. It might take some time for people to start noticing, but I ain't had no time, and I couldn't just sit around waiting. I had to start stacking up now. So I picked up a job at Wingstop a few blocks from campus. Balancing the job, school, and football, that's a lot, but I had no choice. I had to make it work, and of course the money wasn't crazy, but something's better than nothing. And one day during my shift, this dude I had seen around campus walked in. We had talked a couple times, but I didn't really know him like that. I just knew he had money. He was rocking designer everything, chains, driving a geeked up Beamer. I figured he was just a rich kid living off his dad. But that night, I found out how he really got it. First thing he said to me was, "Yo bro, what you doing working for what? 13 an hour? Nah, let me put you on some real money plays." Then he told me how much he makes in a month, and I ain't even gonna lie, I was hooked. And not cause I'm greedy, but cause I knew that kind of money could fix everything back home. Then he broke it down to me, and long story short, he was selling. And yeah, I knew I shouldn't, but thinking about my situation, thinking about my family, I gave in. Plus, it's not like this is new to me. Because of OG Reem, I had already been exposed to stuff I had no business being involved in. So I got right to it. There I was, risking my education, my football career, everything. But in my mind, I felt like it was worth it. Especially when I saw what I had made in just that first week alone. Man, I learned quick. College students will spend anything for what they call a good time. And they all had their reasons. Some were stressed from school, some just wanted to party, and some just wanted to relax. But honestly, that wasn't my concern. As long as I was getting paid, that's all that mattered. Now my dog Chase, he was moving way more than I was comfortable with. But me, I kept it light, just selling gas. And even then, I was making more money than I ever had. Now I know some of y'all watching might be disappointed, and others probably understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. But don't get it twisted, I'm still locked in on the main goal. I'm still grinding, still dominating on that field, still waiting for that NIL money to come in. This right here, it's just temporary. I've been staying focused with practice, film, and everything. So hopefully, I can keep performing the way I have been.
Circles the wagons like the
Currently undefeated with a 5-0 record going into our 6th game of the season against the Buffalo Bulls. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've been balling out all season so far. Hopefully, I can just lock in and keep that same momentum going.
taking on a squad hoping to prevent another.
First handoff for the game comes at a 2nd and 11. Terrible blocking by my outside receiver, but I'm able to bulldoze my way through the defense, fighting to get past that first down mark. A deep touchdown pass will get us our first 6 of the game, and Buffalo will go down and get a field goal as I take off for a nice run. Outside handoff at a 2nd and 10, completely getting him off me. Receiver holding his block this time, and I take off with a whole lot of green grass in front of me. Ain't nobody gonna catch up to me as I make my way into the end zone, scoring my first 6 of the game.
Eastern Michigan. He got loose and it was lights out after that.
Man, I am a
Up 14-3 with 20 seconds left in the first quarter, able to pick up a quick gain of 10. Now in the second quarter, Buffalo went down and kicked another field goal, making it 6-14, as I take the direct snap and pick up a nice gain out of this one. Now in the third quarter with a 17-6 lead, taking the handoff up the gut. And like I said last episode, man, peep the balance. Being able to break through all those tackles, stay on my 2 feet, and now it's a foot race to the end zone, and I'm going to beat them every time, scoring my second touchdown of the game. And y'all probably a little skeptical after that play, but we are playing on Heisman. Now with a 24-6 lead, I'm right back at it, taking the defender out his shoes before being brought down for a gain of 12. Just outside the 20, taking the outside handoff. Not gonna lie, it was looking like a house call at first, but I ended up being brought down right outside the 10.
Runs it all the way down, almost to the 10.
We added on a field goal on that last drive, making the score 27-6. First play of the fourth quarter, I'm breaking off for another huge play, man. A lot of green grass in front of me, and once again, I capitalized, scoring my third touchdown of the game.
He got away from the D. They had no...
Up 41-13 with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I'm not taking my foot off the gas, leaving him in the dirt and diving into the end zone, picking up my fourth touchdown of the game.
Another touchdown.
Obviously, we got that win with the final score being 48-13. It wasn't even a contest. I just had a breakthrough game, finishing with 345 rushing yards off of 21 attempts and 4 touchdowns, averaging 16 yards a carry. I've never heard of that. But if I wasn't already on the maps, I know this game definitely put me on there. And after that performance, I was notified that I had set the new single-game rushing yards record, also winning me the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, along with the National Offensive Player of the Week. On a home turf for the 7th game of the season, feeling good after dominating Buffalo, we are up against NIU. 2nd and 10 coming out in the flat, he gonna throw my way, going heads up against a safety, and I have not been able to complete a single hurdle all season. But that very next play with an inside handoff, I'm taking off through that C gap, and I got a whole lot of space in front of me. Kick it in the second gear, and I take off, scoring my first touchdown of the night.
You just simply can't say enough.
But after that touchdown run, I ain't been able to really get nothing going. The defense been there, starting to put a drive together, slowly but surely being set up with some great blocks. I eat up a chunk of that field before being brought down. 2nd and 4, taking another inside handoff, again being set up with some great blocking, and y'all see I'm able to make do, diving into the end zone, scoring my second touchdown of the game. Up 17-3 with 30 seconds left in the half. Backed up at a long 3rd and 11. And I'm able to get past that first down plus more, but it's getting called back due to holding.
Brought down, but there's a flag on the field.
First play of the third quarter, the score still remains 17-3 as I pick up a big gain off the rip. Few plays later, backed up at a 2nd and 12, going with a screen pass. Everybody picking up their blocking assignment. I'm able to cut through and find a lot of open space, spinning out of a few tackles before being brought down past the 30.
Past the first down marker, and a really nice job to set up that screen and move the sticks.
The defense has
Putting together a nice drive, and y'all can't lie, I do be getting shifty sometimes, man. Putting him on the ground, picking up a quick gain of 7. And that very next play, sneaking into the flat, the QB's gonna go my way. Again, spinning away from the defense and fighting my way into the end zone, scoring another touchdown. Up 24-6 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 7, I easily convert that first down off a quick passing completion, being brought down inside the red zone. A few plays later, at a 2nd and goal, taking the handoff and bouncing it to the outside, I go untouched into the end zone, adding another 6 to the lead. I would end up getting on that board again, and we easily take another win with the final score being 38-6. As I finish this game with 222 rushing yards off of 24 attempts and 5 touchdowns, averaging 9 yards a carry. I'm not gonna lie, man. On paper, I'm a beast.
We haven't accomplished what we wanted yet. We haven't accomplished.
And after that performance, I end up setting the new single-season rushing touchdowns record. I just set 2 new Eastern Michigan records back-to-back. And I also won the MAC Offensive Player of the Week again, and the National Offensive Player of the Week also. A rained-out away game against Miami, Ohio for the 8th game of the season. Still undefeated, looking to keep that going. Very first play of the game, leaving the ball in my hands off an inside handoff. I'm able to fight my way through tackles, being brought down after a gain of 16. We end up facing a short 3rd down at a 3rd and 1. Refusing to go down, I'm able to pick up that first down plus more. Receiver will get us our first 6 of the game. Miami remains scoreless. Taking the inside handoff, bouncing it to the outside and spinning out of 3 tackles, making them look crazy. This finna be all over ESPN. I had to tie my way into the end zone, man. Just like that, I scored my first 6 of the game. Already having 100 rushing yards off of 3 carries.
What an explosive
Up 14-0, Miami, Ohio does not get nothing going. And hey, I nearly broke another one if I didn't get caught up on my own blocker. After picking up nothing on first down, we had a 2nd and 10. Cutting this one to the right, taking the defense out their shoes before being brought down for a nice gain. After getting the defense with an offsides call, we had a 1st and 5, and I make my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game.
Touchdown, Eastern Michigan. They are seizing control and taking away hope as they
Up 28-0 with a minute 15 left in the 2nd quarter. I keep my legs moving and nearly get into that end zone, being brought down inches short. In the very next play, a short handoff will get us into the end zone, adding 6 to that lead and putting this thing away low-key.
The identity of this offense.
Man, I can't lie. Them boys can't figure out no way to stop me. This time coming out into the flat. QB goes my way and I make it count. And set up with a great block on the outside and breaking off for a nice run, being brought down right in front of the 50. So we are able to put a bow on this one with the final score being 38-0. A complete shutout, and just like that, we remain undefeated. And of course, I put on the show, finishing with 189 rushing yards off of 18 attempts and 3 touchdowns. 9th game of the season, and we right back at home with it. Rocking out all gray. Feeling real good going up against Ohio. But hey man, them boys came to play facing the early 3rd and 6. Tried to kick it out to the outside and bend the corner, but I was not able to get enough. Ohio would go down and score, making it 7-0, facing another 3rd down at a 3rd and 5. They bring me down as soon as I get the handoff. Defense is able to keep them from adding on to the lead, backed up in our own end zone. And I'm finally able to get loose, giving us some breathing room and picking up a gain of 17. Ohio definitely came in here with a game plan against me. We in the 2nd quarter and I only got 30 yards, but I'm able to pick up a nice game right here. But we finally started to put a drive together at a 2nd and 3, keeping my feet moving and breaking through tackles, fighting into that end zone, but I'm brought down inches short. And at a 2nd and goal, I'm able to put a cap on this drive, going untouched into the end zone, scoring our first 6 of the game. Ohio go down and kick a field goal, making it 10-7. At a 3rd and 1, I get stopped short again. 3rd quarter now, taking an inside handoff. I finally found some breathing room, getting past the 30 and being brought down for a nice gain.
Got the defense reeling right now with that big play to the 29.
And busting big runs like this, we always talk about the running back.
We go down and tie things up with the score being 10-10, as I'm able to find my way for a gain of around 14 yards. Trying to wake up our offense. I get some pretty good blocking up front, getting him off me, and I pick up a gain of 10. Ohio will go down and score another touchdown, making it 17-10 as I hit the outside and pick up a gain of around 15. Very next play being matched up against that linebacker, brought down inches short of a fresh set of downs. Inching closer and closer to that end zone, lined up just outside the 20, taking an inside handoff and picking up a gain of 12. A minute 30 left in the game, coming out the backfield, he gonna find me. I'm able to get into the end zone, tying this thing up. Tie ball game 17-17 with 12 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Spinning out of a tackle. It was looking like I had a chance to break one, but I ended up being brought down. Looking like we're gonna go into overtime. Ohio got the ball first in overtime and kicked the field goal. So if we score a touchdown, then we win the game. He was 3rd down at the 3rd and 2 with the game on the line, taking an inside handoff. I go untouched into the end zone, scoring a game-winning touchdown, man. Stop playing. I'm not going to lie, y'all boys. I was getting kind of nervous. This was our first game going into overtime, but we made it happen.
Great job getting blocks up front. He was able to skirt his way in.
So we take the 3-point win with the score being 23-20. Before this game, Ohio had only won 2 games. So I'm surprised they gave us that kind of struggle. But like I said earlier, man, we came out on top and made it happen. I finished the game with 210 rushing yards off of 28 attempts and 3 touchdowns.
College football. My pulse rate is still through the roof on.
And my performance that game would win me the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, along with the National Offensive Player of the Week. Coming out to that green smoke, rocking that all black for the 10th game of the season, we are right back on the home turf, up against Bowling Green. 2nd play of the game, getting things started early, being set up with some great blocks and bouncing it to the outside, spinning out of some tackles, being brought down past midfield. Now that's how you start off a game. But sadly, we end up facing a long 3rd down at a 3rd and 11. I make a stumbling catch, and I'm brought down short of the 1st down.
At this level, that's how they thrive.
Bowling Green would go down and score a field goal, making it 3-0. At another 3rd down, 3rd and 2. I'm able to pick it up this time, plus more. I got a delay route coming at the backfield. The keeper's going to look my way. I bring this one in and nearly get into that end zone, being brought down inside the 5. 2nd and goal, I'll put a lid on this drive, finishing it off. Muscling my way into the end zone, scoring our first 6 of the game.
And this time he finds water, gets it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Bowling Green does not score, so it remains 7-3. Taking the inside handoff, being set up with some great blocks, and I got a whole lot of open field in front of me. Y'all already know I'm making that house call. Scoring my second touchdown of the game.
Once he got some room, it was over.
Not really much going on between that last touchdown and now. Now in the third quarter, I'm able to pick up a gain of around 14. And that very next play with an inside handoff, I'm able to pick up a gain of around 15. Starting to move down that field, and the offense is starting to wake up again, getting set up with some great blocks, picking up another nice game.
Really good job by
That very next play out of 1st and goal, I'm going to take this all the way into the end zone, scoring another 6.
touchdown Eagles. And they take it in for 6 more points. They want to finish the season strong, and man, are they doing that here this week 11.
Fourth quarter now, up 21-6. Taking off through that A-gap, I'm able to break off for another nice run before being brought down. Moving down that field pretty quick, slipping out of that initial tackle, bouncing it to the outside. One person to beat, but he is able to bring me down in front of the 20. And that very next play out of 1st and 10, cutting this one to the outside, trying to bend that corner, breaking the tackle, spitting out of another one before being brought down inside the 10. 10 games down, and we still remain undefeated, with the final score of this one being 28-6. For some reason, it ain't seem like it, but I had 274 rushing yards off of 26 attempts, 3 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards a carry.
About my face with what you talking about. I got too much on my plate, and I know you can't relate. It's so love it if you fake. Talking about covering up that hate. I know how to spot a snake. Niggas talk that drum and bass. Talking about, so you better know your place. Stay inside cause it ain't safe. I'm outside with the 8. Talking about, yeah. You hear my words, but got no clue about who I really am. For shark infested waters, phrases like that make me sound harder and more ruthless. But the truth is that I merely swam out the stolen.
In my last episode, y'all saw me make a decision that was questionable to a lot of people watching, but to me, it felt like the only option I had. I risked everything, my education, my football career, and got involved in something I knew I shouldn't have. All just to take care of my situation back home. At first, it was working. I was making money and fast too. Within just a few weeks, I had already made enough money to get OG Ream off my back. But just like they say, everything done in the dark eventually comes to the light. And sooner or later, my business will put me in a situation I couldn't run from. See, one night, I was driving back to campus after making a play. Just another regular night for me, but I ended up getting pulled over for running the stop sign.
Stop sign?
At the time, I wasn't even worried. I just thought it was gonna be a simple traffic ticket. But once the officer walked up to the car, everything changed. He told me he smelled weed and asked if I could step out so he could search the vehicle. Now when he went through the car, he found some residue, but it was within the legal limits, so I wasn't tripping too much off of that. But what I wasn't expecting was for him to find a stack of money rolled up and tucked inside the door. And that's when things got real. Even though I wasn't charged with anything, the situation raised suspicion of distribution, and the police filed a report. In that report, it made its way straight to the school's compliance office and eventually to my head coach. A few days later, I got called into his office. He looked me dead in my eyes and told me how talented I was, how I had the potential to be special. He even thanked me for everything I had done for the program. But then he said something I'll never forget. No player is bigger than the program. He reminded me that before the season even started, he made it clear any off the field issues would not be tolerated. So you already know what happened next. After getting kicked off the team for what other schools would label as behavioral issues, I packed up everything and headed back home to St. Louis and finished the rest of my semester online. That 8-hour drive back gave me a lot of time to think. I tried to stay positive, but naturally, knowing I screwed up, those negative thoughts started to creep in. Like, is my football career over? Was it even worth it? But more than anything, I was thinking about OG Ream. I was going back home, back into his reach, but then I realized something. He ain't been calling me, no texts, no threats, nothing. And if you've been watching, you know that's not normal. And I didn't find out why until I got home. My mom had me meet her in a new apartment complex, and at first I was confused, but then she started telling me everything. She had been clean for almost 4 years, got herself a good job, and finally moved us out the hood. But that wasn't even the biggest surprise. She told me she was seeing someone. Now, I ain't the type to be against my mom moving on. As long as she's happy and being treated right, I'm good with it. But when I found out who it was, my stomach dropped. His name was Anthony, and he was a cop. At that moment, all I could think about was how I was still tied into something I shouldn't be, and now there's a cop right in the middle of my life. But then they sat me down and told me something that changed everything. See, when my mom found out that Anthony was a cop, the first thing she thought about was protecting me, getting me out of that situation for good. So they came up with a plan. Anthony went undercover, acted like he was trying to buy, and OG Reem had no idea who he was dealing with. And just like that, he made the biggest mistake of his life. The whole operation got set up, busted, and shut down. OG Reem and everybody tied to him got locked up, and just like that, it was over. I couldn't even explain how I felt. Relief, freedom. For the first time in a long time, I could finally breathe. And on top of that, all that money I made was mine now. I didn't owe anybody anything. But even with that huge weight lifted, I still had one question left. Where does my football career go from here? So I did the only thing I could do. I entered my name into the transfer portal, and while I waited, I got to work. Man, look, even though I wasn't on the team, I made sure I stayed ready. Conditioning, speed, strength, everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I started feeling different, stronger, faster, more focused than ever. With the kind of stats I put up my freshman year, it didn't take long before coaches started reaching out. I started going on visits, Colorado State, Missouri State, UNLV. But these weren't normal visits. They felt more like job interviews. Every coach had the same questions. Why should we trust you? Can you stay out of trouble? Are you going to be a distraction or a leader? And I understood it. I put myself in that situation. But then one more school reached out, and this one felt different. The University of Kentucky. I took that trip to Lexington, and I can't lie. At first, I was already sold in my head. SEC football, big stage, real exposure. But when I sat down with the coach, reality hit. Look, he told me straight up, I'd be coming in as a third string running back on the depth chart. I would have to earn everything. No handouts, no guarantees. And yeah, I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me, but when I thought about everything I had been through, nothing in my life was ever given to me, so why start expecting it now? I told myself, I'm gonna take that spot. And with that mindset, I committed to the University of Kentucky and became a Wildcat. To my surprise, after grinding all offseason, proving myself every day in and out, I worked my way up to the running back 2 spot before the season even started. And after 3 games, with the starters struggling, I finally got my opportunity. I competed for the starting job and won it. So going into week 4, I'm not fighting for a spot no more. I just gotta make sure I play well enough to keep it as I go into my first game as RB1. Yes, sir, man. First game as a Kentucky Wildcat. Now, as y'all know, I came into this season being the third halfback on the depth chart. I got something to prove. So I'm finna come out here and show coach why he should have started me day 1. Now, some people got their doubts because I came straight from the MAC conference to the SEC, but I ain't worried about none of that, man. We finna go up against Texas A&M for the 4th game of the season. Right now, we got a 2-1 record. Very first run play of the game. On with the inside handoff, I throw a little bit of my explosiveness, breaking off for a gain of 10 off the rip. I kid y'all not, man. Second play of the game. Great blocking up front, bouncing this to the outside. I got a whole lot of green grass in front of me, and I break one on my second handoff of the game. Taking this bad boy all the way back to the crib, scoring our first 6. Look, man, they gonna find out real quick that I'm the real deal. And after making that play, I know y'all got some questions, but we are playing on Heisman, man. Currently sitting at 2 rushes for 75 yards, and on my 3rd, I'm going to take this one back to the crib also. Already scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game, man. They better stop playing with me.
Boy, did he just score.
Up 14-3 in the second quarter with an outside handoff. I'll bounce it back to the inside, slip out of a few tackles before being brought down for a huge gain.
Really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37.
Also, man, let me know what y'all think about the number switch to number 18. They didn't have number 1 available, so I had to do what I had to do. Grabbing my first reception of the game, coming out the backfield. Defense got caught lacking and QB went my way. I eat up a chunk of that field, spin out of a tackle before being brought down in front of the 10.
Finally stopped and brought down at the 15.
We would go down and score again, making it 21-3. First play coming back from the 2-minute warning, I pick up a gain of around 11. A minute left in the half, faking the jet sweep. He gonna hand it off to me. You can see I'm getting set up with some great blocks again, breaking a few tackles before being brought down inside the 5. Third quarter now, and the score is now 31-10. The QB will make his first mistake of the game, throwing an interception across the middle. A&M would capitalize, making it 17, and I guess I was sitting out of drive because we scored 2. So now it's 38-17 as I break off for a nice run, being brought down right in front of the 50.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got
In that very next play, being set up with some great blocking up front, again, I break off for another home run, breaking off into that secondary and beating Autumn to the end zone, scoring my 3rd of the game.
Take it to
10 seconds left in the third quarter. The score is 45-17 as I get loose, finding some more open space, taking off down that left sideline, and I'm not going to get fetched, making my way into the end zone, scoring my 4th home run touchdown of the game. So my first start as a Kentucky Wildcat couldn't have gone any better at all. We came out here and took a huge win against A&M with the score being 52-17.
You know you're going to take care of business. You know you're going to win.
Back-to-back home games, and we are coming into this one ranked number 19, facing off against a team ranked number 24 in the nation, the Oklahoma Sooners. First snap of the game is a handoff that gets shut down for a loss of 1. But that very next play, I'm able to get all that back, picking up a gain of 15. Putting a nice drive together, trying to tie this thing up, going with an outside handoff. I slip a few tackles, picking up that first down plus more. We were able to go down there and score, but they went down and scored too, making it 14-7 as I get set up with the screen pass, but I start going backwards, losing yards. Before you know it, we facing a long 3rd and 7, coming out the backfield and sneaking into that secondary. He gonna deliver a bomb over the defense's head, and I pick up a nice gain, getting past the 40. In that very next play at a 1st and 10, I'm finally able to break one, being set up with some great blocks, making my way into the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of the game, tying this thing up again. Tied ball game with a minute 15 left in the half. Backed up at a 2nd and 17 after the QB taking a sack. I pick up a gain of 16. With a chance to take a lead going into halftime. With 30 seconds left in the second quarter, the QB would throw his first interception of the game. Third quarter now, still a tie ball game at a 3rd and 4. Going with the handoff, I hit the B gap and got a wide open seam, taking off for a huge gain. Outracing the defense and making my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game. Up 21-14, and again putting another drive together. I hit the outside, easily get past that 10 before being brought down. We only get a field goal that last drive. Putting us up 24-14 as I pick up a nice game right here. And a few plays later at a 2nd and 1, keeping it on the ground. Again, I hit the outside and I got a whole lot of green grass. Got one person to beat and I truck my way into the end zone, scoring another touchdown. Back-to-back wins with the final score of this one being 31-21. And as y'all witnessed, I put on another show, running for 286 yards off of 23 attempts and 3 touchdowns, averaging 12 yards a carry.
There wasn't a lot of difference between these.
6th game of the season, and to my surprise, we right back on the home turf again. And after winning 2 games back-to-back, we are more than ready to go up against South Carolina. We end up going scoreless our first drive, and I pick up a quick gain of 7 on my first handoff of the game. And that very next play, at a 1st down, taking off through that A gap, I'm able to pick up a gain of 19 before being brought down inside the red zone.
Brought down just outside the red zone. He moves the chains. It's at the 22.
That's back to,
Very next play, going with an outside handoff this time, taking one defender out of his shoes, being brought down past the 10. He would go down and score, but so does South Carolina. And the QB would drop back and throw an interception. I missed the tackle, and he makes his way into the end zone, scoring a pick 6. Very first play of that next drive, going with the inside handoff, I'm able to pick up a gain of 10. 2nd and 2, starting this one off in motion. Y'all know it's going to be a matter of time before I break one, taking him out his shoes, bouncing it back to the outside and scoring my first touchdown of the game. South Carolina would go down and kick a field goal, making it 17-14. As I receive a pass underneath, it can touch earth before being brought down past midfield. Third quarter now, and as y'all can see, both offenses have been pretty stagnant. But finally, at a 2nd and inches, following my blockers, I'm able to find some open space, breaking off into that open field. And y'all already know, man, when I get loose, it's definitely going to be a house call as I make my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game. Starting this one off in motion, up 21-17. Taking an inside handoff, I'm able to slip a few tackles before being brought down for a huge gain.
They get this sophomore on the ground, but he continues to make plays.
There's really no secret to it.
Putting a nice drive together, receiving the toss to the left, being set up with some great blocks, picking up a nice gain before being brought down just outside the 10. Very next play with an inside handoff, I try to squeeze my way into the end zone, being brought down just short. And we are able to beat the 20th ranked team in the nation with the final score being 31-17. And so far, we're looking pretty unstoppable. First away game in 3 weeks. Of course, it would be against a powerhouse school like the LSU Tigers. But hey, man, the way we've been balling out, I ain't too worried about it. We are now ranked number 10, and they're ranked number 13 going into this one. 2 pass plays will move us this far down the field. Taking my first handoff for the game and shooting through that A gap, I get loose and make my way into the end zone, scoring our first 6 of the game. Stop playing, man.
He got a step and just dusted the field. You're not going to keep the lid on this guy forever. Sooner or later, he's going to get loose.
But LSU will go down and add another touchdown to their lead with the score being 14-7 as I break off for a nice run. In that very next play being set up with some great blocks, I'm able to pick up a quick gain of 10. And I'm low-key putting this job together myself, going with another handoff and picking up another gain of 10. Faking a jet sweep and giving me the handoff on the inside, bouncing it to the outside, taking defenders out their shoes and making a house call, but there is a flag on the play, and this one's getting called back from illegal blocking the back. So that touchdown gets wiped away, and we end up getting off that field after failing to convert at a 3rd and 4. Third quarter now, and the score is 17-21. We're still trailing, and at a 3rd and 11, I'm not able to pick up enough for that first down. 50 seconds left in the third quarter. We're down 28-17. But I try to change the way the score looks, fighting towards the end zone, being brought down short. At a 2nd and goal, weaving between blocks, I would go untouched into the end zone, scoring another touchdown, cutting into that lead. 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we are down with the score being 31-23. So we got no choice but to start running hurry-up offense. Facing the 3rd and 1, taking the snap, bouncing it to the inside, slipping those initial tackles and breaking some ankles until I find some open space, breaking into that green grass, and scoring the touchdown with a chance to tie this thing up if we go for 2 and convert. So, of course, we go for 2, faking the jet sweep and leaving it in my hands, and I cruise my way into the end zone, tying this thing up. 50 seconds left in the game, facing a crucial 3rd and 7. I'm coming outside the flat. QB looks my way, and I'm able to pick up a huge first down completion. 30 seconds left in the game at another huge 3rd down. Taking off through the B gap on a handoff, I'm easily picking up that first down plus more. Coach gets the offense off the field. I don't know what he's going for with 25 seconds left, but apparently we tried a field goal and missed it because now we're in overtime. Before you know it, we end up facing another huge 3rd and 6. Sneaking out the backfield, he gonna lob one. I wish he could have threw one to the end zone, but I step out a yard short. The very next play, faking that handoff, he gonna shoot it to the tight end, and we get on that board. Defense will get a huge stop, and just like that, we take the dub in a closely contested game with the final score being 38-31. This was a really good game, and I put up another great performance, finishing this one with 206 yards off of 22 attempts, averaging 9 yards a carry, and scoring 3 touchdowns.
And this team's eligible. I know the coaches are really happy.
We are on the road again for the 8th game of the season, this time in Arkansas, going up against the Arkansas Razorbacks. And with a 6-1 record, we are now ranked number 8. What's up with every team we go up against starting off with a touchdown, but I pick up a gain of 3 on my first handoff. But that very next play at a 2nd and 7, I'm cutting through the block, nearly seeing daylight. I don't know how many, y'all got to count how many tackles I just slid. But I was just avoiding to go down, man, with a nice gain. Starting this one off in motion, faking the jet sweep. This one seems to work for us pretty good. Every time I get set up with some great blocks, I find a lot of green grass, slipping 2 tackles and fighting my way into the end zone, scoring our first touchdown of the game.
He ran through tackles like water through a sieve.
They don't go down and score, so it remains 7-7 as we put a nice job together, and I pick up a quick gain of around 16. Before you know, we end up facing the 3rd and 6, sneaking out the backfield. QB goes my way to the flat, and I dive my way into the end zone, scoring our 2nd of the game. Arkansas will go down and tie this thing up, making it 14-14 as my QB drop back and throw an interception across the middle. They will capitalize, making it 21-14. With a minute left in the second quarter, he gonna lob one over the defense's head, and I make a nice grab. At a 3rd and 6, picking up that first down. In that very next play, after making that catch, I reward myself, taking it through the B gap and fighting my way into the end zone, tying the game up again. Third quarter now, the score still remains 21-21. Offense is holding their blocks to perfection as I break off into that open field. And this might be the first time I got brought down in the open field, getting past that 40. Score is now 31-21, slowly but surely starting to pull away. And I'm looking to stretch that gap, breaking into the secondary, and this time I'm not gonna get fetched, man. Making my way into the end zone for a home run play. With 50 seconds left in the third quarter, lined up inside the red zone, I would get another touchdown.
Touchdown, Wildcats! And a stomping.
Yourself a day, young fella. You know why they handed him the ball a lot?
And I ain't even gonna lie, man. It's like that Arkansas defense just started giving up.
He's at the tip, and he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Kentucky.
Arkansas would eventually try to fight back, but not with enough time, with the final score being 59-35. I have a record-breaking performance, finishing this game with 346 rushing yards off of 18 attempts, scoring 7 touchdowns, averaging 19 yards a carry. Man. 9th game of the season, starting to miss home because we back on the road. This time going up against Mississippi State. We are now the 6th-ranked team in the nation going into this one.
Mississippi State Bulldogs.
First handoff for the game, faking the jet sweep motion, I pick up a gain of 6.
Gets it across the
That very next play, I had a 2nd and 4. They're going to keep the ball in my hands. I take off through the A gap. The acceleration is something crazy, man. Leaving the defense in the dust. And on my second handoff for the game, I'm making the house call, scoring our first 6.
Kentucky. He got a step and just dusted the field.
Mississippi State does not score, so we remain up 7-0 as I break out for a gain of 9. Starting off the drive with our heels on our own end zone, I'm able to give us some breathing room. First play of the second quarter, and we facing the 3rd and 2, but I easily pick up that first down, spinning out of tackles and picking up more before being brought down. Late in the second quarter now, and as y'all can see, neither side has been able to get anything going for real. Right here, I pick up a gain of around 10. We finally get inside the red zone, coming out the flat. The QB's gonna look my way, and I dive into the end zone, scoring my 2nd of the game.
He strides his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
And they
Third quarter, and we up 14-0 as I get set up with some great blocks, getting us past the 40 before being brought down after a nice game. Slowly getting closer and closer to that end zone and get loose for another nice amount of yards before being brought down.
Pick up on the ground here to keep this drive moving and give them a first down.
And this guy's going to have to come through for
And that very next play, out of 1st and 10, taking off through that B gap, cutting through the blocks, I'm able to find some open space and cruise my way into the end zone, scoring my 3rd touchdown of the game. And I'm not gonna lie, man, so far I have been the offense. Up 21-0, but starting this one off backed up in our own end zone, leaving the ball in my hands, I'm able to get us some breathing room, getting us past that 30. And that very next play, this time going with an outside handoff, being set up with some great blocks and slipping one tackle, cut off into that open field, and y'all already know, man, we making a house call, taking this thing all the way back for 6. Just like that, we were able to pitch a complete shutout with the final score being 28-0. I scored all the touchdowns. Of course, as y'all just seen, I had a great game, finishing this one with 18 carries for 270 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns.
going out next week.
Hey, look at me dead in my eyes. I know that you know that a nigga ain't lying. Too much respect. All of my shorty BDs, they know not to try. Too much respect. I used to hand out CDs before they would buy. Yeah. She love me so much, it seems like she biased. Don't know how I live, but that's cause they live it that high for real. 4L steps ain't stepping on shit.
Hey, yo, Nine, you ain't see you going viral already? Man, that's crazy. You gotta go look.
Yeah, let's set in the bank. Tell them to open a safe, let's do it, let's do it. I hate a privileged rapper who don't even know what it takes. Hey.
If y'all saw the previous episode, then y'all know everything started off downhill. Look, getting caught up with the feds led me to getting kicked off the team at Eastern Michigan, and after that, I was completely lost. I ain't even know where my football career was headed no more, but eventually, the problems I was dealing with slowly started fixing themselves. First, OG Reem and the rest of the gang got locked up. Man, if y'all been following my story, then y'all know how big that moment was for me. For the first time in a long time, I could finally breathe. I wasn't looking over my shoulder no more. I could finally focus on football and becoming the player that my pops and Coach Daniels always knew I could be. And after entering the transfer portal, I packed my bags and headed to Kentucky. But it wasn't all peaches and cream. Look, when I first got there, I joined the team as a 3rd string running back. Wasn't nobody really expected much from me. But after fighting for that RB1 spot every single day at practice, I finally got my opportunity to start in the 4th game of the season. And boy, once I got my chance, I put on a show. I made it clear to everybody watching that Coach should have started me from day 1. 1. And now, we 9 games deep into the season, and ever since I became the starter, I still ain't taking my foot off the gas. I mean, every week I'm putting up crazy numbers back to back to back, and because of that, my name done shot up to one of the biggest names in college football. And honestly, the feeling is insane, especially after going pretty much unnoticed my freshman year. See, I always knew who I was as a player, but to everybody watching from the outside, it probably looked like I came out of nowhere and just took over college football overnight. Not only the game, but the internet too. Ever since I became a superstar, I've been getting invited to interviews and podcasts left and right. Some smaller local ones, and some with huge platforms. But no matter how big or small the opportunity was, I made sure I took advantage of every single one. Not only was my name blowing up online, but my dream from my freshman year finally became a reality too. I started landing huge NIL deals. I'm talking about restaurants, sports brands, all types of companies started reaching out. I ended up working with brands like Chipotle and a few other big names. But the deal I was most hyped about was definitely New Balance. And not only because they offered the biggest bag, but because they let me express myself creatively in the commercials and the campaigns. Now look, I know y'all probably wondering what I blew a bag on first when that money started hitting my account. And trust me, I already knew what it was gonna be. Look, ever since my senior year of high school, I've been riding around in a 94 Ford Mustang. And don't get me wrong, it did what it was supposed to do, but I knew it was time for an upgrade. So I ended up buying a brand new Corvette Z06 with 0 miles on it. And I can't even lie, that car had me feeling like the man. But even when everything in life starts trending in the right direction, your past can still come back and haunt you. And we done seen it happen to athletes plenty of times before, but this time, it just happened to me. Now that my career was finally taking off and I ain't have to worry about OG Reem no more, I felt like I was finally in a place where I could start taking girls more seriously. And when I say girls, that's exactly what I mean. Look, one night, I ended up inviting a girl over without really knowing her like that. And looking back on it, I definitely should have did my research because she was crazy. At one point, I went to the bathroom and accidentally left my phone sitting near her. And of course, at literally the worst time possible, another girl started blowing up my line. And the second she saw that, everything changed. She got mad jealous instantly, acting like we had been together for years. She started yelling, throwing stuff around, causing a whole scene. And eventually, I had no choice but to call the cops just to calm everything down. Now technically, I wasn't in trouble in none, but once police started showing up, all the neighbors had their phones out recording. And with me already being a known athlete, plus my past situation from Eastern Michigan still floating around online, one of those videos ended up going viral almost immediately. And once the internet got a hold of it, man, they ran with it. People started creating their own stories, making assumptions, dragging my name through the mud. And overall, it just looked horrible for my image. Luckily, before things got completely out of control, I was able to sit down with Coach and explain everything. And thankfully, he understood I ain't actually do nothing wrong. But even with my coach on my side, that still don't stop the internet from trying to tear me down. And now, even with everything going on, I still gotta find a way to stay locked in and keep being a weapon on that field week in and week out. And the crazy part is, we entering the most important stretch of the season. Only a few regular season games left, and then it's playoff time. So hopefully I can block out all the noise, stay focused, and keep my eyes on the main goal, winning. Tenth game of the season, and hey man, this right here gonna be a good one. We are currently ranked number 3 in the nation with an 8-1 record, looking to keep things going in the right direction as I take on my hometown, going up against the Missouri Tigers. So this is more than a regular game for me, I gotta put on a show. First handoff of the game ain't the worst, but definitely ain't the best as I only pick up a gain of 4 yards. But my second handoff of the game gets shut down immediately. Second and 10, putting together a slow drive, I'm able to pick up a gain of 11. But before you know it, we facing a 3rd and 6, and the freshman QB throws a terrible pass. Missouri doesn't score either, and on that second drive, lined up inside the red zone, the QB would throw an interception towards the end zone, and that's 2 stalled drives back to back.
Tell you what, when defenses play zone, all eyes are on the quarterback.
Again, they do not go down and capitalize, but in this first quarter, our offense ain't been able to get nothing going as I get shut down again after 2. Later on that drive, we end up facing a 3rd and 2, leaving it in my hands. I'm able to easily pick up that first down, being brought down after a nice game. Just outside the red zone, facing a 3rd and 8, he gonna throw his second interception of the game already. A minute 20 left in the half, and it's now a tie ball game, 7-7. As I'm taking off through that C gap, spinning out of 1 tackle, spinning out of 2 before being brought down right in front of midfield.
How about the defense trying to slow this dude down? He's a Heisman.
And after having a slow start to this game, man, this drive I finally kicked it up a notch. I knew it was coming, and I finally broke one, taking this all the way to the crib, scoring my first touchdown of the game. First play of the third quarter, score is 14-7. I'm taking inside handoff, bouncing to the outside, being brought down after a nice game. For some reason, we can't avoid those third downs. Going my way with the screen pass, being set up with some great blocks, I easily pick up that first down, slipping a few tackles before being brought down in front of the 30. Fourth quarter now, we end up scoring that last drive, and Mizzou goes down and scores a field goal, making it 10-21. As I'm cooking off the inside handoff, bouncing it to the outside, getting loose, scoring my second home run touchdown of the game.
Touchdown, Kentucky! He broke away from the defense and they couldn't catch him.
Up 28-10, but facing a long 3rd and 13. Breaking out of a tackle, I'm able to pick that up, getting past that 30 before being brought down. Very next play, leaving the ball in my hands again. This time on an outside handoff, I slip one tackle and take him out his shoes, picking up a gain of 9. Time winding down in the 4th, but I'm still trying to get on that board again. Refusing to go down easy, fighting my way inside the 10.
Missing tackles.
And that play there is essentially a microcosm of why this guy's the leading rusher in the nation.
So we don't get on that board again, but we were able to come out here with the win, with the final score being 28-10. Y'all seen I put on the show. Started off kind of rocky, but I finished the game with 245 rushing yards off of 27 attempts and 2 touchdowns, averaging 9 yards a carry.
All I'm supposed to do is get things that you
Game number 11 on the season, we are up against a team ranked number 14 in the nation, which is Alabama, with an 8-2 record, and we are now ranked number 2 with a 9-1 record.
Taking on a team.
As y'all can see, I'm a little cold coming into this one, picking up only a gain of 3 on my first carry.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Trying to keep our first drive going, we end up facing the 3rd and 7, but I'm coming out the backfield. He's going to find me in the middle, and I pick up that first down. Very next play at that 1st and 10, I'm taking the inside handoff, picking up a gain of 8. Facing the 3rd and 2, the defense is right there as soon as the ball hit my hands, and I'm brought down short of the first. So Bama would go down and get on that board first, making it 7-0 as I take an outside handoff, finding some open space after taking a defender out his shoes, kicking it in the 2nd gear, and taking off into that end zone, scoring our first touchdown of the game.
Kentucky. He got a step and just dusted the field.
Alabama does not go down and add on to their lead, so it remains 7-7, but I kid y'all not, man. First play of that next drive, after slipping that arm tackle, I find a whole lot of green grass in front of me again, taking full advantage and diving into the end zone, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game.
And takes it in. Touchdown, Kentucky. He makes his way into the end.
Up 17-7 in the 3rd quarter now. My first handoff in the 3rd goes for a gain of 10.
Out to the 36-yard line after gaining 10 on that one.
And with that, I have now passed over 4,000 career rushing yards. That very next play out of 1st and 10, getting caught up on my own blocker, I bounce it to the outside, slipping one tackle. Now it's just a foot race down that left sideline, being brought down past the 40.
And how much running room have they been able to find just all day?
Lined up inside the 20, trying to put a cap on this drive. I nearly go untouched, breaking one arm tackle and force my way into the end zone, scoring my 3rd of the game.
Touchdown, Wildcat. Regular season with this week.
Up 24-7, and it looks like Alabama is giving up, where I'm getting set up with some great blocks, man. Finding some more open space and making another house call, taking this bad boy all the way back to the crib, scoring my 4th of the game.
Wildcats. And the pummel.
A day young fella. You know why they handle
And look, man, I know y'all gonna question it because we having a great game, but we are playing on Heisman. 3rd quarter now at a 2nd and inches, with the score being 34-7. I get an outside handoff, taking the defense out their shoes before being brought down past the 50.
Here we go. Across the 50 and down and out of
So we are able to make our record 10-1 with a win over Alabama, with the final score being 34-7. Definitely put on the show and prove why we ranked number 2.
There's only one really good team. It was
Governor's Cup.
12th game of the season is a rival matchup, taking on a team with a 7-4 record, the Louisville Cardinals. And we are playing our first game of the season ranked number 1 in the nation.
Taking on a team.
First handoff of the game comes out of 2nd and 8 as I pick up a gain of 6.
Shooting at you.
And that very next play out of 3rd and 2, the QB would drop back, roll out to the right, and throw an absolute dot to the defense, giving us our first turnover on the first drive of the game.
That's not the attempt you wanted to start the game.
Thankfully, they don't go down and score off of it. Taking the 6, I'm taking my 2nd handoff of the game and picking up that first. And before you know it, we facing a long 3rd down at the 3rd and 13. He's going to give it to me on the screen pass. And while I do pick up a nice gain out of this one, I still get brought down a yard short of the first.
They'll mark it at the 39 and it'll be 4th down.
Louisville goes down and scores a touchdown, making it 7-0, but I take another handoff, picking up a gain of 8. But we end up facing another 3rd down, this time way more manageable at a 3rd and 1. And as soon as I took the handoff, I seen daylight breaking off, scoring my first touchdown of the game.
Kentucky. He broke away from the defense and they couldn't catch him.
3rd quarter now, and the score still remains tied 7-7. Keeping it on the ground at a 1st and 10 winds up being a great decision as I slip some tackles, being brought down past the 30.
He's got 99 yards rushing, and this guy's just having a tremendous season.
2nd and 8, going with the screen pass, trying to bend that corner as much as I can. I do pick up that first down to get us inside the red zone. We would score that last drive, but Louisville would come down and match it, making the score 14-14 as I pick up a gain of 10, but I'm brought down a yard short of the first down. Louisville will go down and score another touchdown, giving them the lead this time with the score being 21-14. I break off for a nice run, being brought down at the 40. 3:50 left in the ball game. I'm trying to tie this thing up at a 2nd and 2, taking the inside handoff, slipping a few tackles, being brought down in front of the 30.
They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33. This is the kind of performance, guys.
Going with the screen pass at a 2nd and 9, the QB goes my way. I get set up with some great blocks. Finally completing the hurdle, being brought down inside the 20. Minute 20 left in the game. Down inside the red zone, the score is tied 21-21. He's going to go to me in the flat, but I barely pick up anything. We end up settling for a field goal, taking that lead with the score being 24-21. Louisville does not add to their score as we run out the clock. And in a tough rival matchup, we were able to take the win with the final score being 24-21.
Thanks so much for spending some time.
The SEC championship game is here. We are still ranked number 1. Feeling good going into this one with an 11-1 record. But we're going up against a team ranked number 5 in the nation, also with another 11-1 record, with that team being the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia will start off with the ball and score a touchdown their first drive. We end up facing a 3rd and 10 on our first drive, and I do not get a single touch as we get off the field. They will go down and add a field goal, making it 10-0, and finally I get my first touch of the game. And on my first carry, I break off for a huge run, slipping tackles being brought down past midfield. It wouldn't be later that drive until I get my second handoff of the game, coming at a 3rd and 6. Take another huge run play and take this one into the end zone, scoring our first touchdown of the game.
Job here on that combination block to open this hole up. You know, when you have 5 blockers, it can work.
Georgia would go down and make it 17-7, going with the fake jet sweep. I get brought down after a gain of 3, and coach is taking me out of the game. I don't know why. Keeping it on the ground at a 1st and 10, taking off through that C gap, I make another explosive play, picking up a nice amount of yards before being brought down inside the red zone.
But not before he picks up 1st and goal yardage to the 9.
3rd quarter now, and the score is 24-14 as I receive a screen pass. After being backed up at a 2nd and 12, I'm able to get us to a 3rd and 5. Very next play at that 3rd and 5, going with the inside handoff, I easily pick up that first down plus more. Before you know, we end up facing a long 3rd down at a 3rd and 11, going with the screen pass again, getting some nice blocks and picking up that first before stepping out of bounds. And that very next play at a 1st and 10, taking the inside handoff, bouncing it to the outside, slipping the arm tackle when I'm making the house call, going straight to the end zone, scoring another touchdown. Georgia will go down and add a field goal, making it 27-21. With 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, I will pick up another nice amount of yards. First play of the 4th quarter, at a 3rd and 15, our freshman quarterback will go down with a sack. 2 minutes left in the game, going with hurry-up offense, with the score being 35-21. We got to get something going as I pick up a nice amount of yards on the ground. And now with a minute 30 left in the game, I pick up a gain of 10. We were able to get on that board, and the score is now 28-35. 20 seconds left in the game. He's going to deliver a dime my way, and I make a huge catch. Very next play with 12 seconds left, he's going at me towards the sideline. Defense to break that one up, and then the coach will sub me out the game. I don't know why. But just like that, y'all boys, we would take our 2nd loss of the season with the final score of this one being 35-28. We came up short, but hey, man, at least we still got the playoffs in front of us. So even while not winning the SEC championship trophy does hurt, we still got the chance to hold up the most prestigious trophy in college football. As I finish this one with 230 rushing yards off of 21 attempts and 2 touchdowns. And now for the awards I won this season, starting off with the Walter Camp Award. And then we got the Maxwell Award. And yes, sir, man, your boy ended up winning the Heisman Trophy. Next, the Doak Walker Award, First Team All-SEC, and First Team All-American. And for the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on Michigan State, ranked number 11, in the Fiesta Bowl as we are now ranked number 3. Here we go, man. We got our eyes set on making it to that national championship game. But as y'all know, we are coming off of a loss, so we're going to have to shake back. My first handoff for the game will come at a 2nd and 10 as I pick up a gain of 10. Very next play, coming out the backfield and coming across the middle, matched up against a linebacker. He's going to hit me. And I bring this one in, taking off for a nice gain, getting us past midfield. 3 plays back-to-back with the ball in my hands. This time I'm able to pick up a gain of 12. Before you know, we end up facing a 3rd and 1, leaving the ball in my hands, but the defense is right there as soon as I take the snap, and I'm not able to get it. I don't know why we didn't kick the field goal, or maybe we just ain't make it. Michigan State does not score. We're facing a 2nd and 11. Act up in our own end zone, and I get brought down as soon as I take the snap. So coach ended up sitting me out that last drive. I don't know what he got going on. Michigan State scored, but we went down and scored 2, tying this thing up. 30 seconds left in the second half, trying to make a house call. I ended up slipping out of a few tackles, picking up a nice game before being brought down. Third quarter now, the score still remains 14-7. Michigan State got a lead on us as I pick up a gain of 10. Very next play, going with the inside handoff, I'm able to pick up a gain of 9. Y'all boys, I can't make this up. Coach ended up taking me out another drive. Michigan State goes up 21-7. I don't know why coach keep taking out obviously the biggest weapon on the field. It's all good because I'm finna show him right here why he need to stop taking me out the game, making the house call, doing what I do best and making this thing a game once again late in the third quarter. Scoring my first touchdown of the game. Now he better stop taking me out, man.
It's just a matter of time till this guy found the seam.
Michigan State does not go down and add to their lead. So the score remains 21-14 with 14 seconds left in the third quarter. I'm taking another handoff, bouncing it to the outside, slipping tackle, refusing to go down. And this is why you don't take me out of the game, breaking off for another home run touchdown, tying this thing up. Just like that quick. When you got a player that can change the game like that, why would you keep taking him out of the game? I don't get it.
One touch away from a huge
Fourth quarter now, Michigan State will go down and score another touchdown, giving them the lead again with the score being 28-21. I break off for a nice gain of 9. I'm facing a 3rd and 2, leaving the ball in my hands. I fight my way towards that first down. And look at this, man. I can't make this up. He's taking me out the game again. I'm watching from the sideline. Like, bro, I just won a Heisman Trophy, and you gonna take me out the game? And we down 28-21? I don't get it, man. Y'all let me know, am I tripping? Like, bro, look, I was not put back into the game until there's 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they up 31-21. We are not winning this thing. And he does it again. I don't think it mattered no more because there's only 16 seconds left in the game. So I'm watching from the sideline. Once again, the best player on the team is watching from the sideline. So just like that, the season is over. We lose the first round of the playoffs with the final score being 31-21. Bro, let me know if I'm tripping, man. I'm irritated. It make me low-key want to transfer. Why would he keep taking me out the game? You got the best player in the nation sitting on the sideline in the most important parts of the game, especially after I just tied the game up. I don't get it, man. But even though this hurts, man, I did have a good game. Finishing this one with 214 rushing yards off of 18 carries and 2 touchdowns. I definitely balled out.
We was supposed to shine together, but I made it all alone. I don't know what day it is, no more, too busy on the road. Still get back in front of the block, feel like that's half of what I'm owed. Still be ducking around cops, I gotta vacuum seal the loads. I ain't got a rat no more, could quit today, still won't go bro. You ain't got a cat no more, already know you ain't on go. Already know you ain't my homie, you just know I'm getting dough. That's why you stick around, cause if you left your money getting low.
I think I can speak for everybody back home watching that we are ready for some college football, and ladies and gentlemen, it is right around the corner. I mean, last season was great. We all know Georgia took home that national championship trophy, but man, the playoffs were full of surprises.
Yeah, Steve, definitely, man. I mean, no one could have guessed the way it went down, especially with Kentucky being eliminated the first round. I mean, hey, man, many people thought this was the year for Kentucky for sure, especially with the addition of Nasir St. Brown. I mean, that dude was electric, easily the most explosive player in college football, and we all witnessed him win that Heisman Trophy, which means he was the best player in college football also. Now, of course, there was some controversy, especially in that first game of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely. With the coach pulling Nasir St. Brown out of the game at the most important part of the season, everybody was bamboozled and had questions. And when the head coach was asked about it, this was his response.
Well, we had a rotation plan going into the game, and we stuck with it. Obviously, hindsight is always 20/20, and when you lose, people are going to question every decision made out there. Nasir is one of the best players in the country. Everybody knows that. But football is still a team game. And, well, we felt like we were putting our guys in a position to succeed.
Well, even after hearing that, I still got some questions. I guess I still don't understand why a Heisman Trophy winner is sitting on the sideline. But hey, man, it's a new season, and as always, we wish Kentucky the best, but it has been confirmed that Nasir is not going to be a Wildcat next season. Now, as far as what school he's going to, we're not sure about that, but we'll just let him make that announcement when he's ready.
Right. But how about Georgia, though? There was a lot of speculation going on.
In my last episode, y'all saw our season come to a devastating end after losing in the first round of the playoffs against Michigan State. And if y'all watched that game, then y'all saw how my coach kept pulling me out for no reason, confusing everybody watching, Kentucky fans, my teammates, and even me. Look, after that game, even though I still had love for Kentucky, I felt like my time as a Wildcat was over. Honestly, most people saw that coming, and y'all just heard it yourselves in the intro. Now this time, entering the transfer portal was different than it was before my sophomore season. See, last time I was coming off getting kicked off a team, so programs were hesitant to even take a chance on me. But this time, I was entering the transfer portal as the biggest name in college football, the best player in the country, a Heisman Trophy winner with a whole collection of awards to back it up. So instead of sitting around hoping somebody would give me an opportunity, I had programs from all over the country hitting me up, trying to get me to join their school as a next star running back. Now, of course, I already had a few dream schools in mind, but instead of rushing into a decision, I decided to take my time and think everything through. And during that time, I headed back home to Missouri. Not only because I miss home a little, but because there were some things I needed to handle out there. Look, first off, my mom had officially been sober for 5 years. And now that I was finally in a position to do it, I wanted to show her how proud of her I really was. So me and some of her co-workers and family got together and threw her a surprise party celebrating her milestone. And everything went perfect, exactly how I hoped it would. But it still wasn't over yet. Before everybody left, I told her I had one more surprise for her waiting outside. Yes sir, man, I brought my mom a brand new Range Rover, a car she dreamed about for years but never had the chance to afford it. And seeing that smile on her face, man, that meant more to me than any touchdown, any award, or anything football could ever give me. Even after enjoying my time back home, there was still one more thing I needed to do, something that was honestly overdue. I had to go see my pops. See, I haven't visited his gravesite since my sophomore year of high school, and mainly cause deep down, I felt like he would have been disappointed in me for everything I got involved in with OG Ream in the streets. But now, OG Ream was out the picture, and I was finally becoming the man my pops always told me I could be. So I sat there and talked to him. I caught him up on everything that had happened on and off the field. The wins, the losses, the mistakes, the success, all of it. And honestly, after leaving there, I felt lighter, like a weight had finally been lifted off my shoulders. That's when I knew it was finally time to make my decision about where I'll be playing my junior season. At the end of it all, I narrowed my choices down to 2 schools, Oregon and Ohio State. Now with Oregon, I loved everything about the program, the culture, the facilities, the uniforms, everything about it felt elite. But during my meeting with the coaches, they were honest with me. Coach let me know that their running back room was already stacked with talent. Even though I would be coming in as the starter, I'd still be splitting carries with the second string back. And while I respected him for being upfront and honest with me, I wasn't really feeling that. So with that being said, there was only one school left, and I'm proud to announce that for my junior season, I will officially be taking my talents to Ohio State. Your boy is officially a Buckeye. Yes, sir, man. First time exiting the tunnel as an Ohio State Buckeye. I can't lie, man. The vibes is definitely feeling right. I'm already feeling at home, ready to come out here and put on the show in the first game of the season. But if I'm being honest, man, this game right here is definitely one that we should come out with an easy win, as we are going up against Bowling Green. Now, even though we don't expect much out of them, I'm going to still come out here and put on the show. My first time with the ball will come out of 2nd and 9. QB goes with the shovel pass my way as I bring this one in and pick up a nice gain out of it before being brought down. Again at a 2nd down, the QB's gonna look my way coming out the backfield. I spin out of 1 tackle and somehow break 3 tackles, getting us right outside the 20. And that very next play out of 1st and 10, the QB's gonna leave the ball in my hands. I get some great blocking up front, giving me a straight line into the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of the game, my first touchdown as a Buckeye. Up 7-0, but starting this one backed up in our own end zone, going with the outside handoff, being set up with some great blocks again, getting past one defender. And I know y'all hear that crowd going crazy because they know what's coming next, man. Taking this one all the way back to the crib, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game already. Last play of the first quarter, facing a long 3rd and 12, I'm sneaking out the backfield. Defense is nowhere to be found as I make a first down reception. Starting this one off in motion, looking like I might be able to contribute in the passing game a lot this year on this new team as I make a reception down the right sideline. Very next play, that 1st and 10, going with an inside handoff, taking this one right up the seam, picking up a good amount of yards before being brought down inside the 20. After one pass play, we right outside the goal line. The QB gonna leave it in my hands, and I make another touchdown run, scoring my 3rd of the game. Up 21-0, looking to put this thing away early, going with another handoff, being set up with some great blocks again, and I catch a whole lot of green grass in front of me. Yeah, I know I ain't finna get fetched, man, making another house call, scoring my 4th of the game. 40 seconds left in the second half, up 28-0. I will find my way into the end zone again. Late in the third quarter now, the score is 35-6. Sneaking out the backfield once again, the QB's gonna lounge one over the defense's head, and I make a nice reception. In that very next play, going with the screen pass, he gonna dish it off my way. After already scoring 5 touchdowns, I'm not done yet, man, scoring my 6th of the game. So we easily get that win in the first game of the season, with the final score being 42-6. I mean, once again, we all saw that coming, but it's still a great way to start the season off. I finished my first game as a Buckeye with 242 yards off of 15 carries, 6 touchdowns, and 131 receiving yards. Second game of the season, right back on the home turf, but yet again, this is another team that we should come out here and dominate against, as we are going up against an FCS team. Faking the handoff, then sneaking off into the flat. QB goes my way, I bring this one in. Getting past that 30, breaking 1 tackle before being brought down, picking up a gain of 19 on my first catch. Very next play, they will put the ball right back in my hands, going with an outside handoff as I pick up a gain of 8. After that drive at a 2nd and inches, leaving the ball in my hands, I'm brought down immediately. That very next play at a 3rd and 4, he gonna look my way to the left. I'm able to pick up that first down, making his catch, and pick up even more breaking tackles, getting us past that 20 before being brought down. And a few plays later, at a 1st and goal, sneaking out into the flat, the QB looks my way, and I hurdle my way into the end zone, scoring my 1st of the game. Up 7-0, but we right back threatening. Going with an outside handoff, I cut it back inside, slip out of a few tackles before being brought down for a huge gain. Before you know, we facing a 3rd and goal, but I'm sneaking out the backfield again. QB lobs one up my way, and I come down with a nice catch, giving us our 2nd touchdown of the game.
Man, this offense has started the season off so good.
Up 14-0. Defense got a hand on me as soon as I took the snap. I'm able to break that tackle, break a few more after snatching some ankles and being brought down close to midfield. Very next play, trying to take this all the way into the end zone. I take off through that B gap, also to the outside, and I got a whole lot of green grass. One person to beat, but sadly he bring me down inside the 20.
Defensively, you'll take the slowdown.
Surprisingly, we only get a field goal that last drive, making it 17-0. But right here, with the outside handoff, look at the blocking, man. Perfect blocking. And I'm able to go untouched all the way into the end zone, scoring another touchdown. Up 24-0 now. My first handoff for the 3rd quarter. I'm refusing to go down, picking up a gain of 10. A little later that drive, this time going with the inside handoff. Great blocking up front allows me to pick up a gain of around 14. Adding a new aspect to my game, I'm not really a receiving back, but at Ohio State, I look like making another catch and hurdling my way into the end zone, scoring another touchdown, man. Let's go. Very first play of that next drive, score is now 31-0. Was looking to hit the outside, but I bounced it back inside, and winds up being a great decision, and I take off for another home run touchdown. Score is now 38-10, and we are not taking our foot off the gas. As the QB goes my way off the screen pass, I'm set up with some great blocks once again, spinning out of 1 tackle before being brought down inside the 20. And as y'all could have probably guessed, I ended up finding the end zone once again.
Well, this offense has been physical. They came out in this game with a lot of pride.
Only thing that would have made this game better is if you pitched a shutout, with the final score being 66-7. Finished the game with 257 rushing yards off of 21 attempts, 6 touchdowns again. That's 12 on the season already, averaging 12 yards a carry.
This was so easy.
3 home games back-to-back, but this time we are actually taking on a worthy opponent, man. This right here should be a good game, as we're going up against Alabama for the 3rd game of the season. My first carry of the game does not go as expected, being shut down after a gain of 1. We don't score that first drive, and on the second drive, we end up facing a long 3rd and 13. I make a reception, but not with enough to get us that first down. Alabama goes up 14 to our 0, but this is why I'm so deadly, man. One handoff could change the whole aspect of the game. As soon as I see that field, I kick it in the 2nd gear. Crowd going crazy as I make my way towards the end zone, scoring my first touchdown of the game. Alabama would go down and kick a field goal, making it 17-7. I bring in my second reception of the game for a nice amount of yards. In that very next play, out of 1st and 10, leaving the ball in my hands, being set up with some great blocks on the inside handoff, we'll make another house call, taking this boy all the way back to the crib, scoring my second of the game. Just like that, it's a 3-point game with the score being 14-17 as I pick up another nice amount of yards before being brought down. Before you know, we end up facing a 3rd down at a 3rd and 2, going with the inside handoff. I'm refusing to go down, slipping tackles, and picking up a huge amount of yards before being brought down. A few plays later, we end up facing the 1st and goal. I got my mind set on 6 with the QB leaving it in my hands, and I fight my way towards the end zone, scoring my 3rd touchdown of the game. If I'm not mistaken, this is our first game having Julian Sayin back. He was injured for the first 2 games of the season, but he's back now. And with him being able to run the ball like this on top of having me in the backfield, man, we looking good this season.
Of the quarterback position. Basically, you should call them running backs and throw the
that very next play, out of 1st and 10, going with the outside handoff, I'm taking off through that C-gap, sending out a 1 tackle before being brought down inside the 20.
Having that guy, it's so hard to defend.
You get a field goal that last drive and Bama don't score. The score is now 24-17 and I take off for a nice run, get us inside the 20. We go down and score that last drive and so does Alabama. The score is now 25-31. First play of this next drive, man, I'll take this all the way back to the crib, but there is a flag on the play, so this is all getting called back. So sadly, that touchdown was wiped off the board, but we do get the win with the score being 31-25. I finished the game with 225 rushing yards off of 14 carries, 3 touchdowns, averaging 16 yards a carry. Game number 4 on the season, but it is the first away game we got, as we are taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers with a 2-1 record, as we are now ranked number 8 with a 3-0 record. First handoff of the game, and to my surprise, this one gets shut down, losing 1 yard. That very next play, going with the screen pass, he's gonna look my way to the left. I'm able to take one defender out of his shoes, and another again past that 40, refusing to be brought down, breaking multiple tackles, looking for a crease before finally being brought down.
And it's a 1st down, they'll mark it at the 44. No matter how many times they tell you to look for it.
Currently got 45 receiving yards, but I have not been able to get nothing going on the ground for real. It's in the 3rd and 1 right outside the goal line, leaving it in my hands. I'm able to cruise my way into the end zone, scoring my 1st of the game.
That is how you finish.
Up 7-0, but facing a 2nd and 5, backed up in our own end zone. I'm able to break off for a nice game, giving us some good breathing room. Currently with 8 carries for 30 yards, I'm looking to change that right here, taking the outside handoff, finding the crease and fighting my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd of the game. Late in the 2nd quarter, up 28-0, taking the inside handoff, I pick up a gain of 9. Finally, later that drive, at a 1st and 10, I'm taking another inside handoff, slipping a few tackles before fighting my way into the end zone again for my 3rd touchdown of the game.
And they take it in for 6 more points. These guys are really hitting their stride in week 4 as they...
Up 35-7 now in the 3rd quarter, going with an outside handoff. Feeling like I had a chance to make a house call, but I'm brought down and past the 40.
And he'll have enough for the 1st down at the 42.
I think a big key in this team's success to be...
Even though I had somewhat of a slow day all game, I knew eventually I was going to break one. Tossing it to the outside, taking off down that right sideline, making a house call, scoring my 4th of the game. Coach took out the starters for the 4th quarter, but we still got that win with the score being 52-7. Another blowout win. After a slow start, I was able to pick it up and finish with a nice stat line, finishing the game with 170 rushing yards off of 20 attempts and 4 touchdowns.
And that's how you like it.
After being on the road for 1 game, we right back at home for the 5th game of the season, going up against our 2nd ranked opponent of the season so far. Coming into this one, ranked number 6 with a 4-0 record. We are taking on Nebraska, who is ranked number 9, and they are also undefeated with a 4-0 record. I don't know what's going on with my boy Julian Sayin, but man, I could not make this up. First play of the game, he throws an interception. And to make matters worse, yeah, man, he gonna take this one all the way back to the crib for a pick 6. Oh, just like that, Nebraska go up 7-0, but with an inside handoff, I think y'all already know where this is going, man. We're taking this all the way back to the crib, matching that score immediately, scoring my 1st touchdown of the game. score remains tied 7-7 as I take another handoff, bouncing it to the outside, slipping out of a tackle before being brought down past midfield. A few plays later that drive, I had a 2nd and 3 going with a screen pass. He gonna look my way. I got a chunk of open field in front of me, picking up a nice amount of yards before being brought down.
He's got it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and they are threatening on first down.
Get a field goal that last drive, making the score 10-7 in the second quarter. Now sneaking out the backfield again into that secondary. The QB gonna lob it over the defense's head. I make a huge catch, picking up some big yards before being brought down inside the 30.
They've got it at the 30.
And this defense is figuring out early.
Starting to put together a nice drive at a 2nd and 10, taking an inside handoff, refusing to go down, picking up a gain of 10. Very next play, faintly blocking and sneaking out into the flat. The QB gonna look my way. I'm able to find my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd touchdown of the game. Nebraska still don't add nothing to their total. Score is now 17-7 as I grab another reception, take him out of his shoes before being brought out of bounds. Can't even lie, man, I amaze myself sometimes taking the inside handoff, slipping all these tackles. I think that's 4 tackles I just slipped, and I make my way into the end zone, scoring another touchdown.
He shed tackles like a snake getting rid of his skin. No midseason doldrums for the
18 seconds left in the half, and the score is now 24-7. Looking like we're going to have a good lead going into halftime. Taking my first handoff, coming back from the half. Get some good blocking up front, taking one defender out of his shoes before being brought down in front of the 40. Minute 40 left in the fourth quarter now. Neither side have been able to get anything going. Backed up in our own end zone this drive. Even in my hands at a 2nd and 8, I easily get us some breathing room. Getting brought down past the 30. And just like that, we are able to come out on top against the team ranked number 9 in the nation. The final score being 24-7. The only score off of that pick 6, and I finished the game with 230 rushing yards off of 19 carries, 3 touchdowns, averaging 12 yards a carry.
A lot of people thought their opponent might.
Better not come outside until that smoke clear. Talk about they gon' slide and try to hide until the coast clear. Made a 40 ball tonight, then put diamonds in both ears. I probably made this week alone what they making a whole year. Switch up on your dog, he kept you around, I think y'all both weird. Switch up on the dashboard, I can't like I'm way too known here. I ain't checking in on any block, I ain't got no fear. Wrote my name on the wall of grace, I hope it don't smear. They ain't really for me, they just know I got my bread right. Diamonds get to shine and look like I'm wearing some headlights. Y'all done gassed him up so much, he thinking he the man, right? Guarantee when he get round the G, he know the trend like. Guarantee when he get round the guys, he know it's on site.
Hold up. As y'all can see, one of the biggest nights of my life is finally here. And if you've been watching from the beginning, then y'all know it's been a long journey to get to this point. But I can't just skip straight to the draft. The last time y'all seen me, I was balling out at OSU. We were 5 games deep into the season and still undefeated. For my very first game as a Buckeye, I was putting on the show and proving that winning the Heisman as a sophomore was no fluke. And for the rest of the season, I kept that same level of intensity, easily becoming the most feared player in college football. Look, with me pairing up with Julian Sayin, we were destined to go all the way. And just like everybody expected, we made that a reality. We ended up facing Duke in a national championship, and while it was a hard-fought battle just like everyone expected, we were able to come out on top. When that final whistle blew, I wasn't just a Heisman Trophy winner no more, I was also a national champion. And with the resume I built and the tape I had put together, the next move was obvious. It was time to go pro. Look, after my junior season, I did what I normally do and headed back home to Missouri for the offseason. Of course, I was excited to see my mom and visit my dad's grave and tell him about everything that had happened, but I also had something much bigger on my mind. See, I ended up doing something that most players wait years into their professional careers to do, but honestly, I couldn't wait. I remember all those times growing up when I wanted to escape my environment and become something greater, the same greatness my pops and my coach always told me I was capable of becoming. But growing up in the slums of St. Louis made that difficult. I constantly found myself surrounded by things I had no business being involved in. Thankfully, I was able to break away from that life and create a different future for myself. But the reality is, most kids don't get to write their story that way. And because of that, I feel like the idea I had couldn't wait any longer. Behind the scenes, I had been working on a project, and one day, I finally got the call that it was complete. I opened up a brand new training facility right in the neighborhood I grew up in. A place for kids with dreams of becoming great. The facility came equipped with everything they could ever need. Top of the line trainers, professional equipment, recovery rooms, a cafe, study areas, and more. Now, of course, it took the help of some sponsors and people who believed in the vision to make it happen, but together we got it done. And And man, the grand opening was something I'll never forget. Being able to motivate the next generation, take pictures with the kids, hear their stories, and show them how somebody from their neighborhood actually made it. That meant more to me than any trophy. And while helping the community was the main goal, the facility also became my training headquarters as I prepared for the NFL Combine. And trust me, the training paid off.
We've got our eyes on a lot of the biggest names here, but there is a Heisman Trophy winner on the field, and he's the one we are all very eager to see perform.
He, of course, the former Ohio State Buckeye. And now we're going to see this bruiser at running back in the 40-yard dash.
I posted one of the top 40-yard dash times among all running backs, dominated the shuttle drills, and shot off the same explosiveness and elusiveness that got me here in the first place. And before I knew it, the combine was over. The pro day was over, the interviews were over, and now, fast forward to today, the NFL draft. Man, y'all see it. Your boy just got drafted in the first round by the Seattle Seahawks. Man, this moment right here meant everything. From the streets of St. Louis to Eastern Michigan to Kentucky to Ohio State and now the NFL. But the journey is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started. And now it's time to go out there and do what I do best. Man, let's get it.
Inside Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one, as it'll be the New England Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, sir, man. First game of this long NFL season. Your boy is making his debut. Seeing if I can be that same threat as I was in college going up against the New England Patriots. Patriots start this one off with a touchdown. My first touch of the game comes at the first play of our first drive, and I pick up a gain of 8. Proven to be a weapon early this game. Sneaking out the backfield, the QB's gonna go my way, and I pick up a gain of 20 before being brought down. Back-to-back big plays.
He'll have it past midfield, almost to the 40 before being taken down.
Before you know it, we had a 2nd and goal, leaving the ball in my hands. I do not get enough, being stopped short. But that very next play, our tight end will get us our first 6 of the game. Score remains tied 7-7, leaving the ball in my hands again on the first play of this drive. I'm brought down after a gain of 4. A few plays later that drive, at a first down, Sam Darnold will leave the ball in my hands. Being set up with some great blocking up front, I'm able to eat up a chunk of that field before being brought down.
He'll take this down to about the 38. Another nice game.
And after putting together a nice drive, we will make our first mistake of the game with Sam Darnold targeting me and winds up getting intercepted. And to make matters worse, man, he take this all the way back for a pick 6. Third quarter, down a touchdown with the score being 14-7. My first carry of the second half goes for a gain of 9.
And as we know, partner, in the NFL, there's trailing.
A few plays later, at a 1st and 10, they're going to leave the ball in my hands again off the inside handoff. I take one defender out his shoes before picking up a nice amount of yards.
He'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 60-yard.
Very next play, leaving the ball in my hands again. Taking off through that B gap, I'm able to pick up a gain of 7. 2nd and 8, going with the play action. Sam Darnold is going to go my way in the flat, and I am able to pick up that first down, getting us inside the 20. Getting pretty active this drive. Again, going with the inside handoff, being set up with some great blocks up front. I nearly get into that end zone, being brought down just short.
First and goal is some good running there. Gets him down to about the 2-yard line. Knock it on the door.
We did get on the board, but it's now the 4th quarter, and we're down 21-14 as I can't get nothing going. 2nd and 10, again going my way, but it gets shut down quick. Facing the long 3rd down at a 3rd and 8. Coming across the middle, Sam Darnold going to look my way, and I pick up that first down.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd one.
Uh-oh, man. Here he go. Doing what I do best, finding the sliver of space, bouncing it to the outside and taking off for a huge gain before being brought down inside the 40.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 106 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in the season opener.
Putting a nice drive together at a 2nd and 5, starting this one off in motion. Sam Darnold's going to look my way across the middle. I easily pick up that first down, plus more, getting us inside the 20.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots'
30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, man. At a 4th and 11, Sam Darnold's going to find Rashid for a huge touchdown completion, tying this thing up last minute.
So they get the late score they needed.
Man, how crazy is this? My first game of the season goes into overtime. Patriots already had the ball, so we scored in this game. Starting this one off in motion. At a 3rd and 5, we need to get that first down, and he gonna find me. I'm able to bring this one in and pick up that first plus more.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're in.
Remember, y'all, one score can put this game away, and we would take the win. Yeah, set up with some great blocks off the rip. I'm able to break away and make a huge play, my first ever NFL game, and win this game for us, scoring a home run touchdown, man. My first touchdown in my NFL career is a game winner. What a feeling.
Well, that's a good-looking rookie right there. I love how he let the play set up and then showed that explosiveness that I saw on tape in college. Remember I showed you the clip of what he was doing and setting up blocks, and then he would just go? We saw it
in a fascinating way, we take our first win of the season in the first game of the season, with the final score being 27-21. Now, I definitely feel like I lived up to the hype, finishing this game with 20 carries for 169 yards and a touchdown. Second game of the season is an away game against the Arizona Cardinals, and I couldn't feel any better coming into this one after the performance I put on last game. First handoff of the game could have been a home run if I didn't lose my footing, but I only pick up a gain of 3.
We get a look at his rushing numbers from last week here, what he was able to do in support of that win.
Before you know it, we facing a long 3rd down at a 3rd and 7. Cutting to the outside, Sam Darnold's going to look my way, and I pick up that first. Facing the 3rd and 5 inside the red zone, leaving the ball in my hands on an outside handoff. I do not get enough. This one gets shut down for a loss. So we're forced to settle for a field goal, but the Cardinals do not go down and score, but we are backed up in our own end zone starting off this drive. Just like that, I'm able to get us some breathing room, picking up a gain of 10.
Right around that 13-yard line.
2nd and 7, setting up that screen pass. He's going to look my way. I'm getting set up with some good blocks, picking up a nice amount of yards before being brought down past the 40.
At the 42. A nice gain of 13 yards.
After having a rough day on the ground, on with the inside handoff, I'm finally able to break one loose, picking up a nice amount of yards, getting us inside the 10.
Another first down on this drive. Man, this time they're into 1st and goal.
Cooper Kupp will get us our first touchdown of the game, making the score 10-0 as the Cardinals do not score. Last play before halftime, Sam Darnold's going to look my way underneath. Showing off my shiftiness, I pick up a nice amount of yards before being brought down. Even though I really ain't been able to get nothing going, I knew it was coming sooner or later, being set up with some nice blocks. Y'all know all I need is a sliver, and I find that breaking off for a huge home run touchdown, scoring my first of the game.
The Seahawks push their lead further to start the half.
The Cardinals still remain scoreless, so the lead is now 17-0. I make another nice run.
Up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47.
First play of the 4th quarter, with the outside handoff, I'm able to pick up a gain of around 8 yards, bringing my total to 120 yards on the ground.
Well, this certainly has been a memorable contest for
the Cardinals finally go down and score a touchdown, but missed the field goal, making the score 24-6. We end up facing the 3rd down late in the 4th quarter. Using the go down, I'm able to pick up that first plus more.
They get an even 10 on that play. And that gives the Seahawks.
Lined up inside the red zone with 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter. At a 3rd and 7, I will score my 2nd touchdown of the game.
Across the goal line, touchdown Seattle. The Seahawks put up even more points in a win.
So we are able to snatch an easy win against the Cardinals, with the final score being 31-6, pushing our record to 2-0. And I finished the game with 23 carries for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns.
In Landover.
3rd game of the season, we got a rained-out game in Washington, taking on Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. My first rush of the game goes for a gain of 6.
With the rookie from Ohio State. Ooh, well, now you see him, now you don't. Good juke move there.
Starting this drive off in good field position off a turnover. 1st and 10, I'm able to pick up a gain of 5. Before you know, we end up facing the 3rd and 5. Coming out the flat, he's going to go my way underneath for a first down conversion after being smacked.
And he picks up the first down.
And I am able to put a cap on this drive, getting some good blocking up front, working my way into the end zone, scoring our first 6 of the game.
Touchdown Seahawks. It's his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
The Commanders remain scoreless, starting this drive off with another handoff, and I pick up another nice amount of yards.
They're going to mark him down right at the 30-yard line. Terrific starter there. Gain of 15. And the first.
Showing that I picked up some weight and some muscle in the offseason, running straight through the defense and picking up that first down.
And he'll get the first down there, a pickup of about 5 yards.
Last play of the first quarter, starting to put a nice drive together. I'm brought down after a gain of 8.
And he's going to be brought down.
3:40 left in the second quarter. Coming out the backfield at a 3rd and 4, Sam Darnold going to lob in my way. I get us inside the red zone.
He's got it. And they'll move it down to the 11-yard line. He's out of bounds there.
Third quarter now, the score is 10-0 as the Commanders remain scoreless. Starting this one off backed up in our own end zone, I pick up a nice amount of yards, picking up some great breathing room.
Up near the 28.
And he just continues to chew off more and more yards.
Before you know, we end up facing the 3rd and 4. Going with the screen pass, Sam Darnold's going to go my way. Some good blocking allows me to get that first down. I end up slipping and being brought down past the 40.
So they convert on
We go scoreless that last drive. This is the next drive facing the 4th and 2. Coach keep offense on the field. Having the ball in my hands winds up being a great decision as I slip through tackles and fight my way into the end zone, scoring my 2nd of the game.
Touchdown, Seattle. Second touchdown of the game. Season total now up to 5.
Well, I love it, Mike. We're seeing so many teams nowadays as they are...
Commanders finally get on the board, making it 17-7. Trying to stretch that lead late in the 4th quarter. Sam Darnold's going to go my way. Able to bring this one in, slip a tackle, being brought down inside the 10. We go scoreless that last drive, but we were able to hold on enough to get that win with the final score being 17-7. We are now 3-0, remaining undefeated. I end this game with 28 carries for 171 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Game number 4 on the season, and we are finally back on the home turf. Feeling good after having a 3-0 record. And on top of that, we rocking the all lime green uniforms. Yeah, this is going to be a good day. We are going up against the Chargers for the 4th game of the season. And what a way to start this game off, man. Going with the inside handoff, I pick up a gain of 12 off the rib.
And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. That one good for a dozen. And a very quick first.
A few plays later at a 2nd and 10, sneaking out the backfield, he going to lob one over the defense's head. I bring this one in and pick up a nice amount of yards before stepping out. And it must be the uniforms, man, because I'm off to a hot start this game for some reason. Breaking off for another nice game, slipping a few tackles before being brought down inside the 20.
Inside the 15-yard line. 19 more on that one, and another.
And just to show y'all, man, we are playing on all Madden. Your boy is not cheated. We're playing simulation because I want it to be the authentic NFL style. After getting off to a hot start, we're facing the 4th and 4. Let's keep the offense on the field and we go for it. Leaving the ball in my hands, I do not get near enough.
Just brings up a challenging 4th down.
The Chargers also go scoreless their first drive. First play of this next drive, I'm already off to a hot start again, picking up a gain of 9.
Not want to go down there. Carrying tacklers, it's a gain of 9. There you get a look at his number.
Before you know it, we end up facing the 3rd down at a 3rd and 4. He gonna go my way in the flag. I lower my pass and run through the defense, being brought down in front of the 40.
Pick up of 11 yards on that one.
Later that drive at a 2nd and 10, going with a zig route, he gonna look my way. Able to bring this one in, getting past that defense, trying to hurdle, but it does not go to plan. I do pick up a nice amount of yards.
Inside the 25-yard line.
But somehow, again, we go scoreless. On the bright side, so do the Chargers. But hey, man, I'm tired of looking at that goose egg on the board. Leaving the ball in my hands, I break a tackle, bounce it to the outside. And now it's just a foot race, man. I'm not getting fetched, making my way into the end zone, scoring my first of the game, finally.
Score! Touchdown, Seahawks. His 6th touchdown now for the season. That was some kind of run, Greg. We saw him break a tackle and then use his elusiveness.
3rd quarter now, and the score is now 14-6. Starting this drive off in great field position, we got to capitalize as I pick up a gain of 8 on the first down.
And this is just more of the same, picking up exactly where he left off in the first.
Starting this one off in motion and showing a different aspect of my game, lobbing it to me in the back of the end zone, looking like a receiver catching a dot in the corner of the end zone for a quick touchdown.
So the turnover turns into a quick touchdown, and Greg, that's exactly how you want your offense to take care of business.
Anytime your defense can create those sudden change situations, Mike, absolutely you have.
So we are now up 21-6. Going with another inside handoff. I'm slicing through that defense like butter, picking up a nice amount of yards. I've put together a pretty good game if you ask me, but I'm not done yet, man. Being set up with some great blocking, running straight through the defense, and tying my way into the end zone, scoring yet another touchdown, man. What a game I'm having.
Another one. Touchdown, Seattle. 3 touchdowns for him. Numbers 6, 7, and 8 on the season. That is some kind of run. Everything you love about a running back. Using some of the power as well, Greg.
to find his way to the end zone for the touchdown.
And it's so often
Chargers would go down and get on that board, making the score 14-28. Sam Darnold's going to toss him my way as I'm able to pick up a gain of 13.
He's going to get this one out to the 43-yard line. 13 yards to start that.
Very next play, the ball's going right back my way. This time on the screen pass, getting some good blocking, breaking tackles, refusing to go down, picking up a nice chunk of yards before being brought down.
And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line.
Man, I'm feeling like I'm back at Ohio State, being able to score 4 touchdowns in a single game, and we in the NFL with it. Man, I'm going crazy.
Touchdown Seahawks. He has come alive after the break. His 3rd touchdown of the second half.
25 seconds left in the 4th quarter, keeping the ball on the ground, running out the clock, but I catch a lot of green grass and daylight, so I'm going to take this all the way back into the end zone, scoring my 5th touchdown of the game. I think it's safe to say this is my breakout performance right here.
Final minute of play. Big play out of the running game as the back accelerates all the way to the house for the rushing touchdown.
So yeah, man, we completely go out there and dominate the Chargers with the final score being 42-21. And I mean, I just all witnessed I had a great game, finishing this one with 17 carries for 248 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging 14 yards a carry. Right back at Lumen Field for the 5th game of the season. And I love the home games, but I hate the rainy game. But hey, man, y'all saw I just had my best game of the season so far. So I feel good coming into this one, and I know the team feel good after going 4-0. And for the 5th game of the season, we are going up against the San Francisco 49ers. My first touch of the game comes at the first play of the game, going for a gain of 4.
And he'll move this ahead for about 4 yards.
Before you know, we end up facing the 3rd down at a 3rd and 2, leaving the ball in my hands on an outside handoff. I easily pick up that 1st down plus more.
Have the Seahawks 1st down. It's a gain of 6.
That very next play after that 1st and 10, leaving the ball in my hands again, I pick up a gain of around 14.
On the defensive side of the ball in the next 3rd down situation.
A pickup of
getting a lot of touches on the first drive of this game. And that very next play, I pick up a gain of 7.
Nice job, able to dance away.
We ended up settling for a field goal, but missed it, as the 49ers would go down and score a touchdown. But it's all good, man. Leaving the ball in my hands, bouncing it to the outside. I'm going to get us our first touchdown of the game. Also, diving into that end zone for our first 6 of the game.
And he will dive into the end zone. 70 yards. Touchdown, Seattle.
The Niners will go down and add another touchdown, making the score 14-7 as I pick up a gain of 5. We go scoreless that last drive, and luckily the 49ers do not add to their lead as I pick up a gain of 7.
Wow, tough to bring down that time. Surging forward for a pickup of 6.
That very next play at a 2nd and 3 with some hard running, I'm able to easily grab us that 1st down plus more.
And he's going to pick up the 1st down across midfield and down at the 49.
That very next play, leaving the ball in my hands again. And once again, I make another nice play, picking up a gain of 9. And at that 2nd and 1, going with the play action, coming out into the flat, he going to look my way. I bring this one in, taking one defender out his shoes before being brought down outside the 20. Before you know, we end up facing the 4th down at a 4th and 1, leaving the ball in my hands, but I do not get enough.
Going to get there. The defense was ready for it.
Start of the 3rd quarter now, and the 49ers are up 21-7. Before you know, we end up facing another 4th down at a 4th and 4, going for it again. Looking to the right, he gonna find me, and I pick up that 1st down. And a few plays later, looking underneath, Sam Darnold's gonna find me, and we get into that end zone.
To the goal line and in. Touchdown, Seattle. That his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Earn this drive off in great field position after a turnover. Still down 21-14. I started the drive off with a gain of 3. So we ended up having to settle for a field goal, making it 17-24. And very next play at a 1st and 10, slipping off the handoff, still able to fight my way towards a gain of around 12.
He's down on the other side of midfield. Mark him at the 48-yard line.
Putting together a nice drive at a 2nd and 4, going with the inside handoff. I'm taking off through that B gap, lowering my pads and fighting to get us into that red zone.
He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. Call it a gain of 13.
At a 2nd and goal, nobody taking me into account, sneaking into the flat. He gonna look my way, and I easily get into that end zone untouched, tying this thing up with an extra point.
Touchdown, Seahawks. His big game continues. His 3rd touchdown of this one. Numbers 11
12-13 on the year.
We seen this already, man. First game of the season, we went to overtime, and now we finna go into overtime again.
Coming up, quick reminder of the rules.
And man, before you know it, we end up facing a long 4th and 9. Very risky play, but we decided to go for it. Biggest moment of the game right here. He gonna find me across the middle. I'll make a huge catch and pick up some yards after the catch. Changing sides of the field that quick, man. What a huge play right here.
Throwing into all these bad looks, all these teams playing dime.
Before you know it, we in the red zone, but we end up facing the 3rd and 5. Finding me across the middle again. I'm able to get into the end zone after breaking the tackle, giving us that lead in overtime.
And he's got another one. Touchdown, Seattle. Greg, exactly the way you want to handle it when you get the ball to start overtime.
Absolutely, Mike. You want to strike first. You understand the defense is wearing down.
Yes, sir, man. San Francisco was not able to match it. We end up taking another win. I make another clutch touchdown in overtime, winning us the game with the final score being 31-24. Hey, man, I'm definitely one of the biggest weapons on the Seahawks offense. I finished the game with 27 carries for 184 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown, along with 11 receptions for 114 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Hey man, if y'all ask me, I definitely kicked this season off to a hot start, proving myself to be just as much as a weapon as I was in college in the NFL. But anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all for watching the full journey. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace.